4,
3,
2,
1.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fan Frenzy podcast. I'm your host, Chris Borgia. Alongside me, we have Ben Lotman, Gabe Layden, and Jake Holtzauer.
Wait. There's no balloons, dude.
Yeah, no balloons.
There's no
Nah,
balloons
come
this
on.
time.
You know why there's no balloons?
Because we're live.
We're live,
baby. The pod went live.
Let's start us off. Last week we had some technical difficulties, so I still have some of my news left over from last week, and then we can chime into this week, get everybody talk about what they want to talk about. Obviously, we had the unfortunate passings of both Pete Rose and Dikembe Mutombo in the same day. It's quite unfortunate, guys. That was a rough time.
That sucks. Yeah, it was a rough day. That was the same
Yeah.
day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Man, that's
One,
a rough
I
day.
think Mutombo was earlier.
So
Yeah.
I
and
was
then
going on my
Pete
radio
Rose was
show
like 8 o'clock.
It was last Monday, right? Because I was going on my radio show, and right beforehand, that news hit, and we were like, we got to start the radio show off with this. So
Yeah.
like we did, and then we're like, he was a great player, great guy too. He was just like the embodiment of like what a great basketball player is, and he's just that.
I stumbled across yesterday, too. His son made an Instagram post about it.
I didn't even know he had a son.
I didn't know he had a son either. It
How
was
old?
very touching. I think he's in high school or college.
Basketball player?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Is he
Mhm.
tall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I mean, I would
close to
think
the
so,
same height
yeah.
as his dad.
Whoa. NBA potential? Do we know?
I couldn't tell you.
His dad's NBA, so it's like, I would assume he gets a chance.
I couldn't tell you. I'm trying to remember his first name anyways.
Ryan Mutombo.
Yes, Ryan.
16th
That
best
is him.
basketball
7
center in the
foot
United
2.
States.
Oh yeah, he's getting drafted.
7'2".
Dang, I wonder if he can shoot.
Oh, he goes to Georgetown, or is he committed?
He does go to Georgetown.
He's a junior.
Oh, yeah, he's a junior at Georgetown.
Sick.
There you go.
Do you see his
There's
stats?
that's not bad.
This is cool. We can actually
um,
look at each other's computers now. That's
Yeah,
so
exactly.
11 for 18, not bad. Good
Turn
defensive.
into
So,
games.
Good defensive player.
That was
Yeah.
the first part of news that I wrote down for us. Obviously, while we were away, we had the news of Karl Anthony Towns getting traded to
Woo!
the Knicks,
No longer
Jake's
my player of the
team,
week. I
for
changed it.
for Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle.
Terrible trade.
Which
for
we
them.
can, we can talk about it if we want, but like it's kind of late. But like I'm down to talk about it real quick.
Give you a minute or two.
Okay.
I feel like, in my personal opinion, I don't know if I like the trade for you guys.
For the Knicks.
Yes.
I don't
And I'm
think
not saying
any
that
sense
to
for the
be
Timberwolves.
so. I'm saying that because
Why
when
do
you
you
give
think-
up,
why
when
do
you
you think
get,
it's not a
I
good
feel
trade?
like DiVincenzo is so valuable.
But the thing about DiVincenzo, which is why I wanted to get rid
Was
of him,
because he wanted more minutes.
he
and-
wanted more
and
minutes, and he was.
I
complaining,
understand it.
So that
Yeah.
makes
I
sense.
understand it, but I think I know a lot of New Yorkers aren't a fan of Randall, but I feel like what he did there went
Here's
very.
He's basically think of it as he's not as bad as Ben Simmons, but you know what Ben Simmons did for Philly, and then eventually he left because he was terrible. Randall never got to that point where he was terrible. It was just like Randall helped the Knicks become a playoff team, but he'll never win the championship with the Knicks. This is a championship roster now that Randall is off the team.
I noticed when Julius Randle, and I mean now this wouldn't matter anyway because RJ Barrett is gone, but when him and RJ were on the floor together, they did not pass each other the ball.
So that's the problem.
Like
with
he had
Randall
some
too.
on-court struggles with some of the players on the team, and he was just there are some issues there. I don't know what his deal, if he had to deal with Tibbs, but I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like I remember hearing that.
My
at some
quick
point.
question to you
just doesn't
though,
make sense to
as
me.
a Knicks fan, does
Yeah.
it are you upset that Brunson's gonna have the ball less now?
I think he has the ball more, and this is why. So
Really?
Randall is built to be a number one option, which is why I was confused when the Timberwolves got him because they already have their number
They're
one.
gonna use him as a second option.
But the Knicks were also going to use him as a second option, but he just doesn't fit in that role. He's a give the ball to that player last minute of the game, let him score. He thinks he's Kobe Bryant, and he's not. He's just not. He tries to back you down, he tries to fade away, and he misses 75% of the time.
Jake, do you remember what they call him?
Randall?
Yeah.
Who? What?
The human Beyblade, because he just spins.
That's all he
the
does.
ball every
Literally,
single play.
this is, imagine hitting the ball and then just going like this for 2 minutes.
There's highlights of him just spinning and losing the ball, but trying to dribble.
Here's the
and
problem that
just
I have
score.
at Randall. I wanted him to get traded, and I predicted him to get traded. Not for Cat. I think that's crazy that he got traded for Cat. But it's like Randall, when he gets the ball, he doesn't pass until there's 2 seconds left, and at that point, that person has to put up a shot. And Brunson is now the number one option, and Cat last year, and I think 2 years ago when they got Rudy Gobert and Ant, he was okay with being the number 2, and he's also the best big 3-point shooter in the league.
Here's my other issue with that trade, though. Yeah. I think Jalen Brunson defensively isn't the best. But and the thing is, Cat also isn't good defensively. The reason you could hide Brunson last year is because you had a good defensive center last year, though.
We still do.
Yeah, you still have Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, but Mitch Robinson isn't going to be held. I mean, he's going into the season hurt.
Well, I mean, now you don't need him as much.
He gets hurt a lot.
Is gone,
he gets hurt a lot.
This is what I'm predicting the rotation to be. The starters are going to be Brunson 1, Bridges 2, Anunoby 3, Cat 4, Robinson 5, and now we don't have a backup center. So when
because Hartenstein left.
Exactly. And so Robinson, when he gets checked out, Cat's going to slide over to the 5, and Josh Hart's going to slide into the 3.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good...
Bridges...
That's a good...
Anunoby.
With Anunoby and Bridges, that's such a good defensive line.
Exactly. So our defense is so good around those two that their defense doesn't matter. And plus, Tibbs. Tibbs is a great defensive coach.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. I just don't think Cat...
players down.
Yeah, I don't think Cat fits his defensive scheme at all.
Which is a good thing, because if you think about it this way, a lot of coaches that are specifically one direction or one philosophy, players that attack or go against that philosophy end up benefiting because it's like they do their own thing. What I think Cat's going to do is sit in the corner all game, wait to get passed by Brunson and hit the 3, which is fine.
Yeah.
That's all he needs to do.
You just got to hope you don't become the Jimmy Butler-led Chicago Bulls.
Or hopefully we don't try to finally create a super team. I say that with quotes because it's not really a super team. I think it's just a championship team at this point.
Yeah.
Can we beat the Celtics? Probably not. But
can you beat the Sixers? Probably not. No, I'm just kidding.
The next ROI team has come out of the East at this point. I really like that.
And honestly, this is a move that will help the Knicks. They're in win now mode for the next 4 years, I would say. If they don't make
until the end of the Brunson contract.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If they don't make the championship at the end of the Brunson before the end of the Brunson deal, I'm gonna look at it as a failure.
Yeah.
I would too.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the same thing about the Sixers with the Joel Embiid extension.
Moving on, some other news that I have. Obviously, there's been the rumors of Devontae Adams getting traded.
I have a great...
And the Saints and Jets are still the favorites. Definitely tune into the website. I wrote in my top 5 spots for him to go.
I have a question for you.
Go for it.
Were the Giants on that list?
They were not.
This is Ben, or not Ben. Gabe.
Here it comes.
Gabe, tell me if this is a good prediction or not.
Here he comes.
Or would you, different question, would you do this trade?
The Giants aren't in win now mode.
Well, they still have a playoff opportunity this year.
They do.
They are currently, I guess we're last in the East right now.
Yeah.
We're tied for last, but we're only 2 games out of first.
Yeah, 2 games out of first. And the Commanders are probably
We almost beat the Commanders. We almost beat the Washington Commanders.
No, we should have beat the Commanders.
And it's at the time, it's we just lost to the Commanders. And now we're like, wait, we lost to the Commanders by 3.
We should have beat the Cowboys, too.
We should have beat both.
If we scored a touchdown, we beat the Cowboys.
Delusion.
We lost to the Commanders by 3 because
pure delusion.
Okay, but Gabe, would you do this trade? Jalen Hyatt and a 3rd-round pick for Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I would do it because Jalen Hyatt isn't getting the ball right now. However, it won't mess up the chemistry of our receiving core right now because Wandale is getting a lot of receptions. He's playing really well. Obviously, we're neighbors.
Yeah, you want to do it at the Wandale?
Well, here's the thing. I think Slayton gets a step back because Wandale's our slot receiver.
And he has been. He hasn't been getting
any.
Slayton had a good game.
But that's because
Big play Slay. That's what I call him.
But Neighbors was hurt. That's why.
We have big
the
play
only
Slay.
reason I think this trade might go through is because, one, the Raiders are only asking for a 2nd-round pick because he's an aging receiver that makes a lot of money. And 2, Jalen Hyatt was complaining that he wasn't playing. So it's I don't know what's up with these New York players and complaining that they're not getting any playing time. Get better. But, I think that's what's going to happen.
Hyatt's a great player because of his speed threat. He just,
he needs to develop as a route runner.
It's crowded right now. And, he's just not as good as
Wait for Slayton.
My thing is, I think if somebody has a better package to offer, it's going to be the Ravens.
I agree.
Or the Chiefs.
The thing is, I disagree with him going to the Jets.
The Chiefs would be.
Because what do the Jets have at this point? They gave up all their picks for Rodgers.
I agree
They gave
with
up
you.
a lot of picks for Reddick. And he's not even playing.
Here's the point for the Jets, though, is who has Aaron Rodgers been throwing the ball to? It's been Garrett Wilson
the other
and
team.
Alan Lazard.
Garrett Wilson. Yeah, Alan
Lazard
has been good.
I told everybody going into the season.
targets.
I remember during the season preview, I said Aaron Rodgers is not as good as everybody says he is. And I feel like he's proven that.
He even admitted it. He admitted that he's not bouncing back as well as he wanted to.
Yeah.
Because, he's 40 years old and came off a torn ACL or a popped Achilles. That's rough.
Here's my thing. I think you got to look at a team like the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones is a psycho, and he wants to win. and
think they
everybody bullied him all
You think
offseason
they would
because
trade for him and then they would have Brandon Cooks move to the?
Brandon Cooks is out for who knows how long. You got put on IR.
True, 4 weeks.
Oh, did he?
At least 4 weeks.
So then who's the?
So then you got
third
Jalen
string?
Tolbert in the slot.
What if they try to get Alexander
terrible.
Madison out of that trade too?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
get
I-
a running back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rico Dowdle had a good game last week, though.
He did.
I think
as a
Can't
Zeke.
rely on him, though.
honestly, he could go to pretty much any NFC East team. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to
Except
any
the
of them.
Eagles. I don't think he goes to the Eagles.
I think the Commanders
Imagine,
are.
though-
I think the Commanders
Well, I
are
mean,
a good
the
fit.
You got
thing is-
Julio Jones last year, didn't you?
And you traded for you traded for
Where's Julio Jones?
Dotson.
He's gone?
He's
Yeah.
he's the free agency right now.
Oh, okay.
He hasn't
Dotson.
retired
Let's go after
yet. You
Julio
traded for
Jones.
Dotson, so I guess it's not out of
I
the
think
question
the
who would trade
Commanders is
for
a
him.
good fit.
Yeah, I do
I
think
agree.
I do think the Commanders would be nice. I think he's probably going to end up either on Kansas City
Or Baltimore.
Baltimore
I agree.
or the Jets because I think the Jets are really dumb, and I think they think their team is better than it is.
The Jets. This would be a Jets move to make for him to go and then suck for them.
Yeah,
But I
I could
don't
also
think
see it
Adam
really
sucks.
working though.
My
I
thing
could see it
is,
really
though,
working
I
because
don't
Aaron
see
Rodgers likes
him.
so
I
much.
don't see him saying,
What about the
"Hey."
Saints?
I don't see him saying, "Hey, I want to go to the Jets." Like obviously,
Yeah.
there's been rumors about it.
He wants to
But
go to
does
a
he
winning
want to
team.
go there and only have 1 year of Aaron Rodgers?
Exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised if they don't trade him though.
Honestly,
I would not be surprised.
What about the Saints with Derek Carr again? It didn't work last time, but it might work this time.
The
As
issue,
long as it's not Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew.
So you're
I
saying it
think
might
it's
work
gonna be
this
okay.
time because he'll also have Olave and Kamara.
Exactly. Which Kamara also
And
screwed
Taysom
last
Hill.
week, but-
I think there's a big
Shaheed.
matchup. They play Tampa Bay this week.
Oh,
So I think if they win that game, then they're going to be like, okay, we're in it. If they lose that game and fall to 2-4, you're like, I don't know where the season is going. I think they're still a good team, but they've lost now 3 in a
Here's
row.
the thing: the Raiders are built. They have a good defense. They have a good team around the quarterback. It's just what will Gardner Minshew do? And Antonio Pierce in the press conference last week didn't admit that somebody's named the starting quarterback this week, so
Yeah.
it could be either of the two.
Yeah.
And Aiden O'Connell played last year when they had Jimmy G.
Yeah.
And Jimmy G, even though he's not that great of a quarterback, he's still better than Aiden O'Connell, I think. So will they go back to the inexperienced, younger Aiden O'Connell, even though he's already like 26? We'll see.
I don't know. Moving on, though, for some other news, obviously there was the Von Miller suspension of 4 games. It's a big deal. It's a big loss.
Is it a big loss, though? He hasn't really been that productive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to look up his stats this year.
Well,
but
he's played
see-
2 games, so put it with a grain of salt. Look
Yes,
at his stats
but
last year.
wait till he gets back into his rhythm to play alongside Rousseau.
Yeah.
They've both clicked
Rousseau, honestly, is
I
having
mean-
a great year.
I mean,
They
he had
both
3
clicked
sacks
together.
in 4 games. That's not that bad.
That's actually really good.
That's what I mean. Like Von Miller's
Well, they
always
also
been
have
good.
Ed Oliver, so it's like that
Yeah.
line's great.
Although last year in 12 games, he had 0 sacks.
Ooh. He was hurt
But
last year.
he was
though.
hurt most
He
of
was
last
hurt.
year. I think honestly, the way Buffalo is played, like I don't even know if that's gonna affect them because everybody said. I mean, I know
Well, they need pass rush because that secondary is
everybody.
horrendous.
Yeah, everybody said going into this year, like even me, I didn't think Buffalo was gonna be as good as they have been.
Well,
So-
they've been running the ball more, which is good for them.
Yeah.
They need to.
I mean, they just don't. It's so weird because they don't really have any good receivers. I mean, they have Khalil Shakir, they have
Keon
Keon.
Coleman has shown
But-
flashes. He's shown flashes.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
I mean, yeah, and then
And
they,
same with
Khalil
Kincaid.
Shakur has been
And
balling.
Kincaid's been pretty good too.
yeah, Dolan Kincaid has 166
The
yards, but
the people that they need to step up have been stepping up for them, which is good for them.
I'm just when I watch them, it just surprises me that they're 3-2, and I don't know. I'm still questioning
Almost
that
beat the
team.
Texans, too.
They did. They almost beat the Texans. They got destroyed by Baltimore. But then again, like if you look at their first 3 games, they crushed Jacksonville. That doesn't look that impressive.
No.
They crushed Miami. That doesn't look impressive. And then they
Well,
beat Arizona by 6.
That's Miami with Tua though. So it's kind of impressive.
Yeah, but I mean they didn't look right even when
True.
Tua was there.
Yeah, true.
And then they play at the
They
Jets
were
on
really
Monday
close
night.
to
So that'll
winning.
be
They were really close to winning
Yeah,
against
luckily-
the Texans.
Luckily for the Bills, Josh Allen hasn't been turning the ball over, which is why they've been good.
yeah, which is why I'm nervous that they might fall off because eventually he's
will.
going
He will.
to.
In other news, so the 3 injuries that I wanted to highlight real quick was Jalen Phillips being done on the season, same with Shaq Thompson, and now Rashee Rice.
Rashee Rice ended his career like he loves to do, crashing and running. So
Oh gosh.
All right.
It's getting a little crazy.
Yeah.
Snow on there.
Don't say anything yet. Don't say anything yet.
That's just. It's funny that that Patrick Mahomes killed his best target.
But now Worthy went off last game.
But
what
I do want to.
So did Kelsey.
I do want to say I did trade for Travis Kelce this week in one of my fantasy leagues, and that trade's looking very nice.
He's drafting like the second round.
I know.
Wow.
In other news, of course, when the rumor, you're gonna understand this. Both of them are just gonna be like, nah, it's not true. It's not true. Of course, when we talk about saying, hey, like, we want Hassan Reddick back, they're like, no, random NFL rule comes out. Yeah. No, you can't trade back for a player until
it's collusion. Like, what if he's talking?
Where is that? No, it only comes out, be honest, in recent history, rules only come out when the Eagles are doing something.
Well,
the tush push. They were trying to ban it because we were doing good.
I'll compliment the Eagles right here. They're good at innovating and creating new things, but with that, new rules are going to be put in place that stop you from not cheating, but extending the rules, and bending the rules.
Here's my thing, though. I don't think Hassan Reddick was ever going to get traded. Like, if anything, they'll just release him,
back, Hassan?
And then we'll just re-sign him anyway.
If I'm being honest, first of all, Reddick is dumb for two reasons. First, every player to ever sit out has gotten worse, so why does he want to get worse? And second, he's going to end up paying more money than making money by sitting out.
Yeah.
Hassan, can you please come back?
How much is he?
I would greatly appreciate it.
Hassan, if you come back to Philly, we will be the premier podcast to announce your announcement on your return. So
we will gladly take you on the show, too.
Yeah, we'll interview you.
We'll bring you right back to Temple, right in your room.
We might interview Maddox.
We have a really good defense as well. You would look good in blue, that's all I'm saying.
I'll
take him.
Moving on, the last piece of news.
Right behind Azeez Ojulari.
The last piece of news that I got, it got spoiled a little bit by Gabe, and then anybody else can bring up whatever news they got. I was a big fan of Marquise Noel in college. I don't know about you guys.
I loved him.
He was 5'7" and played for Kansas State and balled out. He was point guard.
And 5'7" point guard.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, that's like Chris Clemens.
He was great.
So he
was on the he signed a two-way, I believe, or was he drafted? No, he wasn't drafted. I think he signed a two-way with the Raptors. He signed a two-way with the Raptors. They cut him, and now he just signed with the Rockets.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember.
No, he just signed with them on a two-way contract.
He was college teammates with Keontae Johnson.
He's 5'7", and he was a baller. He was a baller at Kansas State.
He's like this guy, Chris Clemens. If you remember him.
I remember Chris Clemens.
Do you guys remember Carson Edwards? That guy was tough.
He was so good at Purdue.
Anybody else have any news?
I do. Real quick though, he put up 17 a game his senior year.
That's what I mean. He was 5'7".
Yeah. He also put up 17 a game his sophomore year on Little Rock.
Oh wait, I actually do got one more thing in news. Go Vandy. I love you, Diego Pavia. Let me correct myself. Thank you for beating Alabama.
What a turn of events.
Yeah, crazy.
And congrats, Arkansas. Congrats, Arkansas.
I think that was the biggest upset week in college football history.
I just love that they threw the goalpost into the lake and then the firemen had to retrieve it out.
What was Vandy's money line for that game? I'm curious.
Oh my God, you probably became a millionaire.
What news did you have?
Ben, did you see the? Never mind.
No, you're good. My news, I'll make it short because none of you guys really follow Formula One, but this driver, Daniel Ricciardo, he was the guy that got me into the sport. He's like known as like the funny guy on the track, but he was also very good, called the Honey Badger, because he's like sweet and funny, but like when he drives, he's like fierce. He's good. Yeah, like Tyrann Mathieu. So he won, I think, 7 or 8 races throughout his career. He was a solid driver for Red Bull alongside Max Verstappen. Unfortunately, at F1, it's a very cutthroat business. Once you get released from your team, you got to find a new contract, and he's 35. He's too old to do it at this point.
35's too old for Formula One.
I mean, to make a comeback, it's unlikely. It's happened before.
Wow. How old is Lewis Hamilton?
He's 39, I think, but he's also Lewis Hamilton. So there's also a 42-year-old in Formula One.
Do you have any news?
Fernando Alonso. But unfortunately, he was cut, and he's probably going to retire.
Yeah. I mean, my only news is, obviously, this is the first time we're recording in this setup, so let us know what you think. Give us some feedback.
Do you have any news?
I got 2 things real quick. First, Ben, did you see the graphic I posted on Instagram? Which follow the Instagram, by the way. Did you see the graphic?
I might have, yes.
Did you see how I put Penn State as your biggest
win?
I
did, yeah.
That's funny, right? Come on.
Yeah, it is. I mean, hey. Breaking news. The Jets have fired Adam Saleh as their head coach.
Robert Saleh?
Why did I say Adam?
I don't know.
Robert Saleh. Right now.
That's not his fault. Really? Who's Nathaniel Hackett? Oh my God, Nathaniel Hackett's gonna take over.
No.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Adam Saleh. I was like,
Yo, put down the green screen right now. Put down the green screen right now.
That dude had a boxing.
yeah, I was like, did he box? Wait, did he box Fuzi?
Yeah.
He boxed Fuzi.
Oh my
right?
God! The guy that bought YouTube just got fired.
He's gonna become the next coach. But yeah, I mean that's crazy. I mean,
that is crazy.
I guess maybe they'll put Nathaniel Hackett and then trade for a wide receiver.
He's gonna be a DC somewhere.
I forgot to mention two things.
Yo, come to Philly. Can we let's hire him right now?
True.
Can we hire him right now?
Let's fire Vic Fangio.
Yeah, I would do that instantly.
I'm gonna shout out Gabe real quick because he's gonna love that I'm bringing this up.
Okay.
Even though it was a loss, Khalil Roundtree, you're a dog, man.
What a fight.
He's got dog energy. Imagine going 1-1 against Alex Pereira and really like battling it out. I've seen many people try and many people have failed.
They call him Poetan for a reason. I don't know if you know what Poetan means. It means stone hands, I believe, in Portuguese.
Shama.
That Khalil Roundtree, all just nothing but respect. My brother is a massive UFC guy. He trains Muay Thai, which is what Khalil Roundtree specializes in.
Fan.
So he kind of put me on.
And Gabe met Roundtree.
I did meet him a couple weeks ago at Fanatics Fest.
I wish I met him.
He was there on Sunday.
I wish I knew like MMA and UFC and stuff because then I would actually know the people that were there. I knew no one.
It's a very fun sport to get into. Once you get into that, you're hooked.
Speaking of meeting people, I met Andre Drummond. I know these guys seen it.
Yeah.
Andre Drummond was the man.
You said it on the pod, I think, 2 episodes ago.
Did you hear, by the way, what Andre Drummond said about himself?
Mm-mm.
I think he called himself the best rebounder of all time.
That's crazy.
I mean, like, in the modern era?
Honestly, you could argue he's a top 10 rebounder of all time.
Top 10, yes. Best is crazy.
Best is definitely crazy.
I believe he called himself the best rebounder.
The self-proclaimed. Well, that's like Kat, where he's like the
My
self-proclaimed
pick.
best three-point shooter
My
of all time.
pick.
14th. Yeah, I believe he's the best rebounder ever.
Wow. Crazy.
My pick is, I would probably say David Robinson. That aside,
Russell
though.
had like a 50 rebound game at like 6 foot.
Or like Hakeem. Like, come on.
That aside, though, we got to start
man.
moving into our segments and stuff. Guys, we'll do our quick fantasy recap and stuff. Before I get to that, though, I need opinions because in my main league, I made some crazy change-ups in my main league, and I need opinions.
Honestly,
here.
okay, I don't know if I'm mad or happy that there's like no trades going on in our league. Which
So
I'm fine with it because
there was one. There was the Tyreek Hill trade.
Yeah, but after that, it's like, what's happening?
All right.
I think Patty needs to make some trades.
So I need opinions. I made 2 trades. Right. The first one you're gonna be like, what? All right. So I traded away. This is the main league that I care about more than anything. Derrick Henry, Stephon Diggs, Jamal Williams, and Joe Burrow.
That's a big trade.
And I got in return Josh Allen, J.K. Dobbins, Amon-Ra, and Travis Etienne.
I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know who you said because it's so many.
Yeah, that's
Can you pull it up on your computer by any chance so I can just take a look?
I can't.
That's so tough.
Because I can't. Okay. Wait.
Just put it this way. We swapped Joe Burrow for Josh Allen, so I have Josh Allen now.
Okay, that's a downgrade for right now because Josh Allen has not been a good fantasy quarterback.
I think he'll be fine.
He'll be fine. Yeah.
I think it's an upgrade in my opinion. I think this is an upgrade. I got Amon-Ra instead of Stephon Diggs.
That's an upgrade.
And then it's basically the way you look at it is I got Etienne and J.K. Dobbins for Derrick Henry because I gave him Jamal Williams who hasn't done anything.
You gave up Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, in my eyes, you're downgrading running back to upgrade receiver, basically. Not a bad trade. It's a risky trade.
I don't mind. I think Derrick Henry's going to fall off at some point. There's no way he's going to
I have now my running backs are, I have Chubb coming back on top of Josh Jacobs.
Does Chubb come back next week or the week after, though? That's
next week. On top of Etienne, J.K. Dobbins, and Josh Jacobs.
Okay.
Now, I also did another trade. So, obviously, it's a deep league because it's 14 people. Mm-hmm. So, I decided that I was going to handicap everybody by having 3 quarterbacks. So, I didn't mind getting rid of Baker at this moment.
Baker's been good fantasy-wise.
He has been good. But guess who I finally got rid of? Keenan Allen. I traded Baker Mayfield and Keenan Allen for DK Metcalf and Jared Goff.
That's an upgrade, honestly, for your entire team. That's crazy that you want that.
And on my bench, too, I also have Hawkinson coming back, and I just claimed DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, he's a meh move.
I made some crazy.
And I still have
trades
AJ
this
Brown
week.
too.
Williams is not bad.
And
I
this
still-
is your other team, right?
This
It's
is-
weird. It's
yeah, I
weird
still
how
have AJ
similar-
Brown
it's
too,
weird how
and
similar-
Lazard, who's been cooking.
It's
Oh,
weird how
Alan Lazard
similar
is so tough.
your team is
Hey,
on that
really,
league
right.
to our
I feel like that's how it always ends up though, because people just come up with a list of players they like. Like that's how both my teams and both my leagues have some similar players.
Let's touch base on our main league real quick. Jake's not undefeated anymore.
This is true. Wait, but I also didn't score the least amount of points. You just had a really good week, so congrats to you.
Saquon was out.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra was out for me.
Bro, I don't.
Everybody in our league is 3-2
No.
right now, basically.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know
Except
how.
one.
I don't know why my team just decided to be crap
And
this
Hector.
week.
And Patty.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know how I lost this week. I had like a 70%
Oh, yeah,
chance
man.
to win going into the
Do you know
week,
what's
and I
crazy
lost.
to me? Chris had Travis Kelce and I had Alvin Kamara. He had a 99% chance to win. I had a 1% chance to win. Where's the? I think Kamara's better than Kelce fantasy wise. How did that work? How does that work?
Guys, I just realized in my other league, I was going to bench, because Kyron's on bye, I was going to put Mostert as my starter, and he's also on bye, so that means I'm going to have to start Ezekiel Elliott.
Ooh, you gotta trade for someone right now.
I gotta get
Okay,
him.
I got a question. I got a question from my other league real quick. Kyron Williams is on a bye. Do I start Alexander Madison or Bucky Irving? I think Irving.
I think Irving.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Rashad White
Hey,
started
Gabe.
playing good
Gabe, you
again,
need a
man.
running back?
I think I might need a
But
running back.
But Bucky Irving's been playing well too.
Is there a certain New York Giants running back that you happen to like?
Tyron
I
Tracy.
would, yeah. I'll take Tyron Tracy.
Actually, I'm gonna pick him up in our league right now.
Let me pick up Tyron Tracy. He was tough actually. He was.
Well,
really
I mean, if Devin Singletary's starting, he's gonna get like no carries, but
yeah.
Well, I think Tracy starts in a couple weeks.
I think it's only a matter of time. Also, Tyron Tracy has been.
Does
He
anybody
was
want-
balling. He had like 7 yards per carry last week.
Yeah. Does anybody want Carson Steele?
no.
No.
I'll
No.
pass on.
All right.
I can't
Anybody
believe
else
Cleveland
want to touch
won.
base on their games before we
I
move
think.
on?
Okay. So I lost to Chris. Ben, you lost to who?
I believe James. Didn't I play James?
What was the score? By how
James
much?
had neighbors.
I don't want
He
to
was
talk
hurt,
about
though.
it. I lost by 50
Yeah, maybe you
points.
should have listened to me when we were doing our draft when I told you to take neighbors.
Well, I'm 4-1, so I don't really care.
I took Neighbor.
I wish I took neighbors.
Gabe,
Yeah.
Me and Gabe made a crazy trade in our other league. I had Malik Neighbors, but I don't really like having rookies that much.
Yeah.
So I traded him to Gabe. But honestly, it was a pretty fair trade.
What did you get in return?
Yeah, it wasn't a bad trade. Now looking back on it.
Well, wasn't it like?
I honestly
Neighbors-
don't even know. I've made so many
Because
trades.
it
with
Wasn't it like
somebody.
Neighbors and Singletary, and then you dropped Singletary?
By
Yeah.
accident. Yes, that was a
Ew.
terrible move. I traded Neighbors and Singletary
You need
for.
a great quarterback.
Was it? It wasn't Mondale. No. Oh, it was James Conner and.
And like.
Oh, James Conner and.
Pacheco.
No,
No,
and
it was what's the name on the
Jamison
Lions?
Williams.
Jamison Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good trade.
How's Jamison Williams been doing?
Good.
honestly, I haven't started him
I
enough.
haven't been paying
but
attention at all to him.
he's been pretty solid. He's
Did you-
such a big play threat. He doesn't catch that many balls.
Oh, in our league, jeez.
Yeah, I was in the shootout. I won 141 to 133.
Wow, good for
Against
you.
Preston.
So
Yeah.
Preston's had a good team this year.
Preston, sorry for taking over.
no, go ahead.
He also had like no bust, so you just had a bunch of booms. Except Devin Achin almost screwed you.
my
he
entire
really
my
did.
entire roster was busts. Everybody on my roster was a
And the
bust.
Saints. The Saints.
Unfortunately, me and Chris, I had a couple busts. I think Kamara was a bust. I have an ad playing right now.
It's
So
all
that
right.
sucks.
It's all right because I got a good amount of guys on the bye week this upcoming week,
Oh, so
and
you're
I gotta
lucky. You're
start.
lucky.
I gotta start
Oh, we're
Fire
facing
Muse.
now.
I'm facing
New
Chris.
York versus New York.
Me versus Chris this
And me
week.
versus Gabe.
Oh,
No,
it's
it's
a-
a
Oh
pod
wait,
week.
it's
No.
a pod week.
No.
Yo,
no.
I wasn't expecting it this
Oh
quick.
wow!
Damn.
All right, moving on though to the next part, guys. I've been saving the same player of the week
Me too.
since last episode, and I'm gonna stick with it. And I will start us off gladly.
Yeah, kicker, buddy.
When I was at Xfinity Live it was 2 weeks ago. It was the same. Actually, it was the same night during the Alabama Georgia game when me and
Yeah.
Ben were hanging out. It was that exact night. That was the 28th of September. There was a hockey game on that night. Does anyone? You might recall.
I did my player of the week last week for that.
Did NHL start?
Bro,
Mr.
we
Reach.
didn't have.
Oh
an
yeah, I
episode
was
last
gonna do
week.
it last.
And
I
that's
forgot
that's
about
my
that.
player of the
Oh
week.
well, yeah, you can.
Really?
I had a new one.
But
We're stealing players of the week stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
maybe. I know Ben knows what I'm talking about. Do you guys know which game I'm talking about? Happened the 28th. It was the same night of Georgia-Bama,
Was
where Ben saw me very upset.
Was it by any chance Flyers opening day?
It was Flyers preseason. Flyers opening day is actually in 3 days, and I'm so hyped. It's us against the Vancouver Canucks, which I think is going to be a shootout because Vancouver was great last year.
Honestly, I might watch hockey more this year because I
watch if you're bored, tune into that game because it's going to be a shootout.
Here's the thing: I'm watching baseball over hockey and probably basketball over hockey too. But if it's ever the only thing on, I'll watch it.
There's too many sports. We got to get rid of half of them. That's what.
Well,
for my player of the week, listen, I get it. It's preseason, but it was against the Boston Bruins, and the kid had 2 goals.
Wow.
And he was fighting people out there.
At preseason?
Yes. Matvey Michkov, you are the future of the Flyers.
How old is
you
he?
are going to run this organization. He is 19.
Wow. And he was fighting people at 19.
The funny thing is there is a guy named Billy Sweezy on the Boston Bruins, and he went after Michkov and threw him into the boards and was like trying to tussle with him. And Michkov like basically got away from him and kept going like to keep playing the game. And then all you see out of nowhere is Couturier comes out of nowhere and just gets right up against this dude, just throws the gloves right down and just starts fighting him.
I have a question about Michkov. Does he make the Flyers? Does he play this year?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to play first line.
Really? He won't
He's
get
going to
sent
play
down to the
first
minors?
line. No.
The Flyers have this other player named Jet Luchenko.
I was just about to bring him up. Put it to you this way.
Yeah.
We drafted a kid literally not even last year, like a few months ago in the draft, 18-year-old. And he's getting sent up to the main lineup.
Already?
He's going to be the youngest Flyers player
he's going to be
in
the
history of the
youngest
franchise.
Flyers player ever, and he's going to have our last roster spot.
Wow, good for him. And he's going to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not like crazy.
I don't know if
he'll
he'll stay.
play like
I don't know if he'll stay in the NHL the whole
line.
season. He'll
No.
probably get sent down at some point.
That's
but
what
Is he
one of my
first line?
best friends was
Is he
saying.
first line in the minors though?
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
okay.
Him and Denver Barkey is
That's
another
crazy to
name
me
that we have.
somebody younger than us is way better at hockey like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. We're getting to that age where there's guys that are just better
older
than us.
than Malik Neighbors.
Oh my
Or
God!
like a day younger, I think.
Oh my God!
It's so crazy.
And
I'm
he's
like,
a professional
Yeah,
NFL
I know,
player,
what
and
I'm-
you're talking about him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like basically wearing his.
Yeah,
jersey.
so I'm going with Mitch Cobb for my player of the week. He's cooking. I can only imagine what this kid's gonna do, and with the protection that a lot of these Flyers guys have for him, because when you make it into the big leagues, they like to target the young rookies and show them what it's like, and then they're like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, for example, I saw a video. It was from this past season. It was the first game of the season with Crosby and Bedard. And then as they're in the face-off, he's like, welcome to the big leagues, Rook.
That's cool.
So,
That's like what Max
yeah.
Crosby was doing to Bo Nix, where he was just yelling at him, telling him,
Oh,
"Speak
yeah.
up, speak up,
They can't
Bo.
hear
They
you."
can't hear you." And then Bo continues to like kill him. So
Who wants to go next for player of the week?
I got it.
Go for it.
Am I able to stand up in this shot?
No.
Oh.
You do it anyway.
Yeah, I'm doing it anyway.
Go behind the camera and
You
I
can
go. Okay,
You
hold on.
can cut my head off.
Okay, hold
Hey.
on. Let's go. Wait, hold on. We're about live editing.
Live editing.
Live editing.
Wow.
Whoa, sick. Let me zoom in on you.
Hey, fans, this one's for you. Nick Castellanos.
Yeah!
Nick Castellanos with the walk-off. Let's go. Nick Castellanos is a monster. This man has...
Can I hit you with a question?
This is his 5th walk-off of the season. The Phillies have 11 walk-offs this year. He hit his 5th.
Can I hit you with a question?
Yeah,
Was
what's
this all? You're about to
Yeah,
laugh.
I'll sit back
You're
down.
about to
I'll
laugh.
sit back
You're
down.
about to laugh. Was this all stored up from Mutombo and P-Rose?
Yeah. What?
Nick Castellanos only does
Oh,
good
yeah.
when accidents happen.
Well, I will say it is the anniversary.
Yeah.
It was the
What-
anniversary of
what I'll
October
hit you
7th,
with
but yeah.
is him going over to his son at the end of the game, and the picture that was shot is one of the most beautiful pictures I've ever
Here's the
seen.
thing. I think this is the most Philly thing ever. His first at bat and his second at his first
Yeah.
at bats. The Phillies fans boo the crap out of him because he's chasing outside of the
He
zone.
was chasing
Hey,
dirt.
well,
But that's what he does. That's who he is. He's a player that
But
doesn't want
what
to
did I say, Jake? What did I
He
say?
said it would light a fire in him, and it did.
We woke him up. We woke him
That's
up.
the thing. The
We're
most
good at
Philly
doing
thing of
that.
all time is booing a player, and then eventually he hits a home run to shut
We're
the
really good at that. Tune in on October 18th to the turnaround on Netflix with Trey Turner. I think it'll be
I'm
beautiful.
gonna watch that.
Yeah,
Saturday.
I'm just so excited to watch the rest of this series. I think it's going to be a good series. I do think
Tonight?
we, as in the Philadelphia Phillies, will win tonight. Aaron Nola does really good against the Mets in his career.
I'm gonna say one thing
but-
and one thing only about that because I don't like talking about it
Yeah.
when it's going on. I like to talk about it when it's through and over with.
You don't want to jinx it.
Exactly. If the Phillies can shut down Mark Vientos, I think they take the game.
Did you say something to Mark Vientos last game?
No, I winded up staying at Xfinity Live with everybody else.
Okay.
You know what, though? I did see a Mets fan and started breaking his balls a little bit, and then he told me to celebrate baseball.
What does that mean?
He said, "Oh, it was a good game. Let's just celebrate baseball, though."
Dang, that's like a great comeback.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. What does it mean?
Celebrate a good game. It was a great game, I guess. I don't know.
But yeah, my player of the week, Nick Castellanos.
I was like, what do you mean? I was like, listen, I'm not celebrating Pete Alonso. Go.
Yeah.
You're just like confused.
Go.
That's what I would do. If I get into an argument, I'm just going to make the other person so confused that it looks like I won.
Just
I
celebrate
think-
baseball.
Can I say one thing, though, too?
Okay.
Jesse Winker scared of Willie Adames.
I think Nick Castellanos might be my dream guest for this podcast.
That'd be sick. He's a great guy to interview.
Yeah, he is. He is. He has some. There's some great clips.
Let's bring on Jose Iglesias too while we're at it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, wait. The best thing ever, though, was I saw someone holding up a sign that said, "Oh my God, Mets lose."
Oh, that's funny.
As long as you guys
I don't know who was more funny, though, that or the girl who walked into Xfinity Live with a P. Diddy Mets fan.
Oh my God.
Flag,
Oh, yeah.
flag, and started walking up the Mets fans with it.
Yeah, as long as you guys don't continue the meme into next season, like we had a
this is the
bamboo
year.
meme
Yeah, this is it.
with the Phillies, and we continued it in the next
Yeah.
season, and it just
Also,
didn't work.
The Yankees had a thumbs down.
Highlight of that game,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Highlight of that game, though, had to be when I think it was the Bryson Stott hit, and then they just turned onto a grimace going like this.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I love that there was
That was a highlight
I love that there was
reel.
grimaces in
That was
Citizens Bank Park.
amazing.
That's just funny to me. And it's like the worst costumes ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
they
like-
were horrible.
They throw like a purple sheet over
Yeah,
their
they're literally just
head.
doing anything purple works,
Yeah.
honestly.
Player
so
of the
fun.
weeks out of you
can
two?
All right.
Is that your player of the week?
That is my player of the week.
Wow.
I'll describe it in a second.
He's an
First off,
ESPN page.
that
That's
game
so fun.
pissed me off. What was that, 2 nights ago? Because
of course
we're
they
getting
are
ready
on
for our
ESPN.
chapter, for our fraternity, our chapter meeting every
Wow.
week. And we're downstairs. I'm
shocked
setting
you
up.
picked them.
And obviously, it's like bottom of the 9th when you guys come down, and then everybody's there just for that walk off, and I'm just sitting there the entire time wanting to die inside.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. My player of the week. Like I said, huge respect to Kalour Roundtree. Definitely one of my favorite fighters from now on. Thanks to my brother for that, for putting me on. But my player of the week is actually his opponent, Alex Pereira.
Can I hit you with a big thing right here? I
yes.
think this guy had a lot to do with that win.
Oh, absolutely. Glover. He's highlighting Glover Teixeira, who was the former light heavyweight champion.
One of the greatest fights I have ever seen was Glover Teixeira and Yuri Prochazka. I don't know what happened to Yuri after.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't been the champion since, right? Or was that before? I'm forgetting the timeline now, but yeah, I mean, Yuri got absolutely rocked by Pereira too. Anyway, Teixeira's Pereira's. Is he his head coach at this point, or is he just one of them?
Oh, cool. Does he still fight Teixeira, or is he retired?
No, he retired.
he's retired. He retired.
Whooped by Jamal Hill.
he retired not that long ago after he lost the big fight, but literally the fight before had a brawl to the death with
He was the
Yuri
UFC
Prochazka.
champion the fight before he retired at like 42
Before
years
you
old.
say anything else,
Yeah.
I'm going to say one thing right here.
Yes.
I'm glad you brought up the name Jamal Hill because, bro, you should not be running your mouth when you literally get manhandled left and right. And if you really think you could beat Pereira, if you think you could beat Pereira, I would love to see you try again just so I could see you on the floor again.
No,
because yawning after a fight where it was basically a brawl to the death and Roundtree fought amazing for being the 8th ranked in that weight class up against the champ. He fought against Pereira way better than you did, and you want to sit here and yawn and talk your trash.
That was the toughest fight he's ever had.
Besides when
in
Izzy
the
beat
UFC,
him.
besides obviously the loss to Izzy. Yeah, so real quick, I've just never seen, honestly, in sports, a rise like this. The guy's 37 years old. He came over from kickboxing. He was one of the best kickboxers in the world to the UFC because Israel Adesanya was the champion at the time, and he was like, oh, there's this one guy that knocked me out in this kickboxing promotion. He's probably somewhere in a bar. So now, actually, there's this company that makes T-shirts that says, not the guy in the bar anymore, with a picture of Pereira holding both of his belts. He was the guy
Whoa, that's crazy.
that beat him. So he came over to the UFC. He had like 5 fights before
Yeah,
fighting
Pereira
Canelo.
was the only guy to beat
I've never
Izzy in
seen
kickboxing.
the referee for that fight, Mark Goddard. did you see what he was saying to Joe Rogan? He was talking to him after the fight. He said he described Alex Pereira's punching, like the noise that he makes when he punches, as ungodly. There's never been somebody with that punch. He has the highest punch power ever recorded, right? He broke Francis Ngannou's record. He's light heavyweight, so he's not even as big as Ngannou. It's just like I've never seen an athlete like this before that has that power. It's out of this world. He's just beat everybody that's came in his way. I mean, he lost to Adesanya once in the UFC, but I think honestly at this point he sleeps in a rematch. I guess Dricus du Plessis is next. He goes back down to middleweight. The rise of Alex Pereira, he's also the most active fighter in the roster. And when you're the champion, you don't have to be. This guy is just, he's making it so fun to be a UFC fan at this time. And it was unfortunate I beat Roundtree. I was rooting for Roundtree, but you got to pay your respect where it's due. Alex Pereira, you are a monster, and I can't wait to see where you go from here. Even if he's 37 years old, he still has a lot left to get.
Yeah, I agree. He does have a lot left in the tank. Jake?
Okay, player of the week. Usually
Malik
it's about...
Neighbors.
No, actually
Wando.
no. Oh, whoa. I'm actually going out of the box here.
Saquon.
It's actually not a player that did well or something good that happened to him. It's something bad that happened to him. And I feel very, very bad, and I just want to highlight how good of a player he is, but how injury-riddled his career has been. And, Chris, you actually brought him up earlier, a part of the injury list. Jalen Phillips, you are my player of the week. Because I feel...
Season-ending injury this year and last year.
So bad. He's such a great player. He's an elite pass rusher. And I don't throw around that, title, around willy-nilly. He is one of the best.
He made me mad one time.
Really? Why?
It was the game against the Eagles where he started flapping his wings. That was just mad disrespectful.
But here's the thing. He is one of the best pass rushers in all of the NFL. But his career has just derailed so much
because of injury.
I can't believe he keeps coming back. In college, he had a career-ending injury that he fought back from. He transferred to another college and came back, just like Leatu Latu. He came to the NFL. I believe he was injured to start his career, and then he came back for the Dolphins, got drafted in the first round because he's that good, came back for the Dolphins, had incredible seasons. Then last year, when Hard Knocks was going on...
When everybody was getting hurt.
And the thing is, it's like Hard Knocks, you get to learn and love these players. Jalen Phillips was the guy that I loved the most on that team, and unfortunately, he tore his ACL, which ended his season last year. This year, he came back one more time just to, I think, would he break his leg? He did something with his leg again. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, he's out for the year once more. And last year, it hurt me to see when he was crying on the field because he came back from so much just to end his career, or end his season again. And now it's happening another time. I just feel so bad for this guy, and I need everyone to know how good Jalen Phillips is because he is, when he plays, a top 10 pass rusher in the NFL, and unfortunately, nobody will get to see him this year. And that just sucks. It just sucks.
I agree with that.
Absolutely.
It's rough.
I mean, I just love him as a player. I love him as a person because his headspace, honestly, if I have 3 season-ending injuries in my career, I think I might consider calling it quits.
Yeah.
And
you know who should call it quits?
I hope he's back next year.
You know who should call it quits? His teammate. His teammate.
Yeah, but
Mike McDaniel won't let him, which is
Jalen Phillips, my prayers are going out to you. Get better, get healthy, be back next season, and show the entire world that you are one of the best pass rushers in the league. Because I think he had 1 or 2 sacks already this season. He only played 3-4 games. So Jalen Phillips, get well soon. You've been through it before, so just the grind, get back to it, and you'll be on the top of the food chain once again.
Hey, speaking of games, it's predictions time.
No, transition.
No, it's not.
Oh, you messed up my transition.
Transition.
We're not at predictions yet.
What are we doing?
We're at MLB Playoffs.
Predictions.
Hey, that is predictions.
It's not our NFL predictions.
One way or another, it is predictions.
Predictions.
Obviously, we spoke a lot about the Mets and Philly, so we'll move off of that one and touch base on the other ones.
Do you want to quickly say who won the
I was gonna bring it up. Obviously, before we even got into like the Mets and Phillies, there was the Mets and the Brewers. Like I said a little bit earlier.
Thank you, Pete Alonso.
Winker is scared of Willie Adames. We've seen it before.
Also, Jackson Chourio.
Whoa.
What did I tell you?
That guy.
What did I tell? No, you know what? What did I tell all three?
Well, okay. What about
I said Jackson Chourio.
Garrett Mitchell also had a great play.
No, but do you recall the argument that we had?
That he wasn't the
No,
best
also,
Jackson?
who
No,
was that?
listen. We
Who's
had
that
an
rookie pitcher that
argument.
they had for Game 3.
Who?
The Brewers. Because he was
Ooh.
also.
I'll put it this
He was
way.
really good.
We had an argument, and I think I won that argument because of not saying that. So the argument, to give a little bit of clarification, I said that Chourio was going to win Rookie of the Year.
Oh.
These guys said Yamamoto.
True.
And I disagreed. I said no
This
shot.
was before Paul Skeens, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, he's not going to win it, but he's higher on the board than Yamamoto.
But Yamamoto was also hurt, so how much can you...
Doesn't matter.
Yamamoto-
He's on the board higher than Yamamoto.
Even Naga,
But
I think, is still going to be
it's
over.
crazy, though, that a guy who's as good as Jackson Chourio isn't even going to be...
What about Jackson Merrill?
He's not even going to... That's what I was going to say. He's not even going to be 1 or 2. He's going to be 3.
He's not even the best Jackson.
Yeah. Do you want to hear a fun stat about Jackson Merrill? 3 years ago, he was a senior in high school, and now he is the starting center fielder for a playoff team.
Except for the fact that he's horrible defensively in center field, but we don't need to talk about that.
He's so young, though.
And he's so young, and he was a shortstop. So like,
Yeah, I mean, he should
That
be playing center
aside,
field.
the Mets won the series 2-1 after Pete Alonso.
Absolutely safe by Pete
Saved
Alonso,
the
who had
game.
been playing terribly.
Wait, Gabe, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you re-sign Alonso now?
No.
After this? Really?
No.
But here's the thing. Okay, so your strategy as a Mets...
He wants Juan
As the
Soto.
Mets is you guys want Juan Soto.
Yeah.
If you don't sign Juan Soto, which I think the Yankees are going to re-sign him, do you then re-sign Alonso
No.
after you can't get Soto?
You trade for Vladdy.
Can they though?
Yeah.
Yo, don't ever say that to me
I would have
again.
Vladdy.
Wait.
Yo, hold on. Before you say anything, can you please take that back right now? I don't want my Blue Jays Vladdy jersey to go like downhill now. I can't hate Vladdy, but I'm gonna hate him if he's on the Mets.
Wait, do you trade Acuna for Vladdy? Is that the trade?
No, I don't think Vladdy has that much value.
Vladdy, they already came out and stated, guys, if Vladdy's not getting moved, then anybody else would get
sign
moved.
and trade going with Pete Alonso for Vladdy.
I have a question for you, Chris. When the rumors that the Yankees would trade for Vladdy, would you still root for Vladdy if he was on the Yankees? Really?
Yeah.
So you're
Wow.
a Yankees fan.
I would become a Yankees fan, but I'd still root for Vlad.
That's
You
great.
know Vlad owns your team too.
He does, which is why I wanted him on the team. He does great in Yankee Stadium.
All right,
That's like me saying, oh yeah, I want Mark Ken or Josh Bell on the Phillies.
Real quick.
Because Josh Bell, whenever he plays the Phillies, he turns into Barry Bonds. I don't know what to say, but
I know you don't want to touch on Mets and Phillies too much, but I know obviously all three of us are biased. I want to talk to Jake real quick. I have a question.
no, I don't even want to hear.
He's
his
biased
opinion.
too.
He is biased.
No,
He is biased.
I'm the most
He
unbiased
went
person here.
from one side of the subway to the other side of the subway.
Listen,
That's all he did.
I hate the Mets and the Phillies equally.
right? Is he rooting for the Mets? And the
I don't
Phillies?
believe you.
Yes, now that he has a bet with you, but okay. But aside from that, you're pretty unbiased when it comes to these two teams. First question is, do you re-sign Alonso? And the second question is, I know you have
you're
money.
asking me back?
Yes.
Okay.
The second question is, I mean, obviously you have money on the Mets in this series, but
Okay,
do you
without
like
the
what
money,
you've seen so far?
Without the
Yes.
money, do I like what I've seen? Okay, first question you asked it back at me. Do you re-sign Alonso? I think, one, if you don't re-sign Soto,
You have
then
to.
you have to. Because he's now a Mets legend because of what he's done in
He's
the
also
playoffs.
high up on that all-time home runs list for
Exactly.
the franchise.
So I
which is
think
crazy.
I think Franklin Lindor is the face of your franchise now.
Oh, absolutely.
But
yeah.
Alonso will go down in history with the Mets now.
Or Vientos.
Or Vantos is still young though. He still has time. To
That's
like,
the problem.
I
That's
know,
the problem
but
with
the way
Alonso
he's
is like
been playing is unbelievable.
I think you put Vientos at first base.
that's what
could.
people are saying.
And then Alonso could just DH for you. That's what could happen.
And then you also have
JD Martinez isn't coming back.
Yeah, he's not.
He's going to retire most
No
likely.
shot.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I think you, one, do re-sign Alonso because Soto, I believe, is re-signing with the Yankees for like $70 million a year. It's a lot. It's worth
Yeah.
it. Two, you asked, do I like what I've seen? Yes.
You think they're winning the series?
Yes.
Okay.
That's also not the question you asked.
Well, yeah.
I think I liked what I see because the Mets and the Mets affiliates have only been one-score games, right, so far for both games. They won by one score, right?
No, not the first one.
Yeah, the first one
was
we beat
two,
them
right?
by like 3, right?
Oh,
4.
well, it's been a
3 or 4.
shootout. for both games so far.
I mean, they've both been close.
So I think the pitching has been trash for both teams. Besides those starters,
well, the Phillies starters have been disgusting.
Well,
the bullpen's been
not
awful.
totally. Strom has been rocky and stuff, but like Estevez was real good.
You know who I like?
Pitched.
Kodai Senga looked pretty good in his 2 innings. He threw one bad pitch, and obviously.
Yeah, I spoke to that guy before.
Did he speak English?
Yeah, what did he say to you? Is my
when
question.
I when I went to the Phillies game against the Mets, I think it was not this season. It was last season.
So his rookie year.
He was getting warmed up before the game, and I started yelling at him, and then he threw a 90 fastball right down the lane. I was like, yo, I'm taking that 450. That was a cookie, bro. And he kind of just looked at me and was like, because he didn't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't understand.
Exactly.
I was just yelling Kodai.
If you actually said a Japanese sentence,
you want to know a funny story? You
want
to know a funny story? I only ever got told to like walk away from the bullpen one time. And it was actually a funny one. Me and my best friend.
Is that what you do when you go to games? You just chirp the bullpen?
Of course it is.
It depends on who it is. It depends on who it is. Me and my buddy got told we had to walk away from the bullpen. That they weren't going to kick us out, obviously, because we're Phillies fans and we're in our own stadium. We're not cursing either.
And you're allowed to chirp the other team.
You're allowed to chirp, and we're not cursing either.
Exactly.
We're not bringing up family. We're not cursing. We're not doing none of that.
I mean, that's fine.
So it was kind of weird because this guy is a little bit of an oddball, but Andrew Chafin.
That makes sense.
He did not want anything to do with us because my best friend, my best friend walked up to him and he's like, "I'm your worst nightmare, pal," and he was getting so mad.
It's because he's like a spiritual guy.
Listen, the only time I think, the only time realistically that I thought where they could like tell anyone to leave the bullpen was when I went to the home opener this season against the Braves and Spencer Strider was in there. I heard a lot about family. In that one, it was bad.
Usually it's when people are.
It was bad, and I'll be honest with you. There's nobody more I hate in the entire league than Spencer Strider. Not a single.
All you have to do to get into his
head
is say Strider,
or just talk about how big his leg.
And guess what?
This brings
us into our next series of games, and I know you're a Mets fan. We're Phillies fans. You're just a Yankees fan on the totally opposite side. But we can come to an agreement that we still hate the Braves at the end of the day.
Of course.
And you see this. You see this.
Yeah,
we can always shake on that. And guess what? We're living in paradise because they got eliminated.
They got
the Padres sweep them.
They eliminated the Diamondbacks too. You guys are lucky.
I'm so glad about that. But like I said, the Padres sweep them. So they were like, you don't even get a shot. I don't care who you have.
I feel like everybody thought that was.
The Padres have been hot in baseball. They've been hot in baseball. I wanted to bring up something real quick. Obviously, they swept them 2-0. The series right now against the Dodgers is 1-1. And I'm going to say this as an overall baseball fan. I seen a video, and I think everybody here should know who he is, but I don't know if everybody will. And I'm also going to give him a quick shout-out because it's kind of funny because of something that happened this past weekend. I'm giving a quick shout-out to Eric Sim.
Oh, I love him.
Do you know who that is? Do you know who that is? Yeah. Eric Sim, do you want to explain a little bit?
Okay, so Eric Sim, he is
a baseball YouTuber.
A former baseball player. He was in the minors for the Giants. He was a catcher. And he calls himself the Korean Panther now. That's his nickname. He's
a baseball YouTuber.
Guy. He loves to hit tanks.
I shouted it out because of Jose Canseco's home run derby.
Oh,
that listed him.
Now, right?
It happened.
It happened already.
This past weekend. Who won? You might have to figure that out because I didn't totally see. But it was like him, Antonio Brown, Eric Sim, Andrew Jones, a bunch of people.
Canseco said that he's going to win it, so he becomes bigger than Aaron Judge again, which is crazy. That would even be possible.
That aside, though, Eric Sim posted a video on.
Oh yeah, I forgot his daughter, Jose Canseco's daughter, dated Logan Paul for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's funny.
Eric Sim posted a video on Twitter yesterday, and I actually seen it, and I was like, let me see what he's talking about here. And he brought up a really good point. He basically stated, as baseball fans and stuff.
I don't think it happened yet.
I'm pretty positive. I've seen videos on Twitter.
I saw a video. Maybe it was a practice.
It might have been
maybe
because I'm not seeing anything.
Wait.
It did happen. I just
I thought it
how
did.
come I'm not seeing any?
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about it.
That's crazy.
Maybe go on Twitter.
That's what I mean. I thought it did happen. That aside, though,
I would go on
there's
Twitter.
some crazy names on there.
Roy Oswald's doing
Rick
it.
Yeah,
Flair?
Josh
That can't even
Reddick.
stand
Yeah,
up.
Rick Flair was
Dude,
in
he's
there.
like 90.
Yeah, Rick Flair
What?
was in there.
Johnny
Johnny
Dang?
Manziel. Johnny
Like the
Manziel
jeweler,
was in
Johnny
there too.
Dang?
Yes.
Roy Oswald was a pitcher.
As you can see,
Amber
Johnny
Rose!
Manziel was in there.
What is going on here?
Um,
Bob Menery?
What?
So
Yes.
to go on with the
Rose Philly's
point
dad?
with Eric Sim, he said, as baseball fans, he was referring to the Padres and Dodgers series. Why are we acting like this in terms of them throwing trash on the fields and, the whole fight thing with Profar? Like, it's going to get heated because it's the playoffs. But during the playoffs, are we really supposed to be doing these types of things and acting this type of? Yes, it's fine to depending on what you do, it's fine to an extent. Like for example, Padres Philly series, 2 years ago, my best friend was there. Juan Soto flicked off my best friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that stuff is fine.
but
A little
the
bit
thing-
of
the
chirping,
thing-
but
the thing
throwing
is,
stuff
it's
on
all
the field,
fun games.
delaying the game,
Man, put it
it's
in
not
Danny.
worth it.
No. Wait, when did that
Pretty
happen?
Danny.
When did it delay the game?
Oh, that was
Yesterday.
that was
when the
O'Neal
guy threw the
Cruz.
ball back on the field?
No, it wasn't that. Well, somebody did try throwing a baseball at Profar, but
That's
they
the-
also threw a bunch of trash
So,
on
okay,
the
so-
field. And look where that got you
And-
after
yeah,
it happened.
exactly.
You lost 10-2.
Exactly.
Dodgers
And here's
fans.
the thing.
You lost 10-2.
First of all, were you guys watching the Dodgers-Padres game?
And
when
people talk crap
Profar
about
caught
us.
The ball?
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, I thought it was a home run. Profar played that
Yeah.
so well.
I'm
He
on-
let Mookie Betts round all the way to third.
Oh,
before,
yeah, I saw that.
before
I'll
he-
say this too.
Was that why? He wanted to see him round the bases?
Mhm. Yeah,
And he also stole it from a Dodgers fan. He stole it out of his hand from a Dodgers
Pretty
fan.
much, yeah.
And the thing is,
In his
Profar was
glove.
being a nice guy. He gave that Dodgers fan the ball afterwards and was like, here, you can have it now. And then he just threw it back on the field. Like, what was that?
But everybody does that.
But the thing is, it's like, if I was ever in a situation where an MLB player stared at me and then was like, here, you deserve it, I'm keeping that ball. We're friends now.
Zach Campbell over here.
Yeah, exactly. Zach Campbell, bro.
Yeah. Hey, people talk crap about Phillies fans. We don't do that.
Like I said,
We don't
you,
throw it.
you-
We don't
Do
throw
you,
it.
do you not?
it's
We
not.
I saw a Phillies fan throw back a Mark Vientos home run.
Well, no, we throw back home runs, but we don't throw
Oh, you
trash
don't- yeah,
at
yeah.
players.
We don't throw baseballs at players.
Exactly.
I did see
Um,
my friend Phillies fan chirp at a player that didn't even speak English. So I mean that's.
Yeah, we don't have to say who.
Yeah.
Can we just point-
I didn't throw a baseball.
No.
I didn't
No.
throw a
It was not
baseball.
him. It was somebody else that.
Um,
Do we want to move on?
Wait.
Because we're taking a while in this series.
We still got plenty of time.
Okay.
Like I said, though, it's not the end of the world. Like, just mellow down
Just
a little
have
bit.
fun.
Listen, I get it. It's your rival team, and if I was a Dodgers fan and Tatis was yapping and doing all that stuff, I would have said, "Yeah, Mr. PEDs," and looked at him
Yeah,
straight
exactly,
in the face
yeah.
because he was getting pretty cocky with the fans.
Well, was it PEDs? Apparently, it was just like some sort of sunscreen or like hair gel.
I don't
That's what
believe
they all
that.
say.
I don't
Yeah.
believe that.
I don't
Get
know.
out of here. Moving on. Jake, I'm gonna let you touch and bring us through this one a little bit because I know you're
Sure.
gonna have fun with it. So,
I'll have fun with both these
the
series,
ki-
honestly.
well, I think me and Ben should do the other one, but
Unbiased. Okay.
Kansas City Royals
Yeah.
and the Orioles. Take it away.
Yeah, it was a great series by the Royals. They were hot going into the playoffs.
The
Actually,
Orioles did not play
they were
well.
not hot going into the playoffs. Both the Royals and the Orioles stumbled into
The Orioles
this
did not
postseason.
play well though.
No, they didn't. They are a young team, but the Royals are younger. And
You,
here's-
you should be happy though. That's your rival.
Oh, 100%. This honestly, the way that this is matching up so far. First of all, I predicted every single wild card series, so that's a little bit flex on my part. Second, this is the best chance for the Yankees to make the World Series because the Orioles, the Yankees suck in division, and I'm glad we're versing the Orioles because the Yankees have the best record against the AL Central this year out of every team. So we beat up on AL Central teams, and
And
it's
the only
AL
teams
Central
that are
teams.
left are AL
Exactly.
Central, which I will say at the start of the season, I did not say 3 AL Central teams
Me
were going to
neither.
be in the
That's
playoffs.
crazy, right? I thought the Mariners would make it, and they fell off hard.
The Mariners were.
And I know
oof.
we're going to touch up on the other series, but I'm
Oof.
glad the Astros lost too because the Yankees, if they faced them in the playoffs, first of all, the Yankees never beat the Astros, and second, the Astros are the only team in the entire MLB in the postseason that has a mainly lefty lineup, and it shows from last night in the Kansas City game, the Yankees can't hit lefties. So if they face mainly righties, which they will throughout the rest of the postseason, then there's one or two, like you guys have Christopher Sanchez, you guys got Ranger Suarez. There's one or two, or every team you have David Peterson. But if they mainly face right-handers, then that's an added benefit because we're the best team in the league against right-handers, statistically. Against lefties, we're like bottom of the pack. We're like 25th. So thank God the Royals won. And also the Orioles, unfortunately, they choke. They're a young team.
As you can see, Jake's just very happy he doesn't have to see Gunnar Henderson anymore.
Or Adley Rutschman, honestly. And it's like, the thing is...
Or Colton Cowser.
Yes. I think the Orioles, in 3 years, will be a World Series team.
They're like the Thunder.
Yeah, basically. But it's like, for right now, they're very young, very inexperienced. They just need to keep getting these postseason reps, which they will over the next, 10 years. And eventually they'll make it. But this year is the best year for the Yankees to make the World Series, and that's because of what's happening.
Ben.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
How do we go from...
Fun fact, by the way, this is the furthest the Yankees have ever made it past the Astros since 2014. It's been 10 years that the Astros have been better than the Yankees, and they're finally dead.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Ben, how do we feel that, they were just a World Series team not that long ago against the Phillies, and now they're getting eliminated in the wild card?
Mark my words, Alex Bregman is a New York Yankee.
Alex Bregman is not
how are you going to pay Alex
Yankee,
Bregman?
But he's definitely
gone. We can pay whoever we want.
He's definitely gone. I don't think he's a Yankee though.
That
aside,
man, the Astros played
They
played so bad. I know. Their pitching was bad.
Though,
their hitting was bad.
There's one guy on the Astros that I just love watching him sit at his couch and have to watch baseball, and it's Jeremy Pena. I love watching you sit at your couch during the off season in Cancun, not celebrating.
Yeah, he's got the live stream on the video.
I love seeing that. I cannot stand you.
Do you think they're gonna win the Cancun World Series though?
Oh no, probably the Chinese. The Chinese.
Probably the Yankees.
Whoa. Probably the Phillies. It's gonna be Yankees Phillies.
With that being said, some players might have gotten their revenge, you could say, against the Astros from that 2022 World Series, being Matt Vierling and Nick Maton.
Yeah. Good
revenge.
Yeah, good stuff.
And as you can see, guys,
Matt Vierling plays third base for the Tigers. That's weird.
Matt Vierling is a good player.
Well, as you can see, guys, Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, and those guys are cooking up something.
Kerry Carpenter, though.
Yeah, they're cooking
hitting
up
a 3-run homer off the best reliever in all of baseball.
Cole Keith, too.
Shout out Yankees legend Trey Sweeney. We traded him to the Dodgers for Victor Gonzalez, who then we DFA'd. And then he was in the trade for Jack Flaherty to the Tigers, and now he's cooking it up.
I'm going to say something else to you real quick before I forget, now that it just clicked in my mind. You know what? I'm a little bit happy about the Orioles being eliminated for the sole factor of Craig Kimbrell and Dominguez and Soto all sitting on the couch.
Well, Kimbrell got DFA'd, so he was on the team anyway.
Yeah. Well, Soto, Gregory Soto, and
it was so crazy watching a baseball game where Sir Anthony Dominguez was the closer.
Yeah. And now Austin Hayes is flourishing right now.
Yeah.
Is he?
Is he playing?
He did play.
He did play. He hasn't done anything, but
Bobby Witt.
Now he hit that ball well. It just it did not go in his favor, but he hit it well. So obviously, yes, the Tigers. I'm shocked that the series didn't split in the first two, but the Tigers they swept the Astros.
Here's the thing: the Tigers are the hottest team in the AL right now. That's why they swept them.
I still cannot believe that Cleveland lost that game.
What, game one?
No.
Oh, last game.
Yeah.
Where
Kerry Carpenter had a 3-run homer off of the best reliever I've ever seen.
The best reliever since Mariano Rivera.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Best reliever I've ever seen because I didn't watch much.
Shout out Tarek Skubal too, man.
Oh my God,
unbelievable.
And the thing is, he didn't play game one because he was on 4-day rest.
Yeah.
So did he play last game or is he pitching tomorrow? Do we know?
I think he pitched the last game,
and that's why they won. Because it was 0-0 going into the 8th inning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's crazy. And they brought in Class A early to try to shut them down. That's crazy.
Yeah.
See, but guess what? Maybe it's a new sign not to put in closers early.
I know. I don't want my closer. I don't want my closer in at all.
Dude, I was watching the game with Gabe.
He's just a fun guy. I like the music.
I was watching the Phillies Mets game with Gabe, and Gabe will remember this. the announcer AJ Przinsky was like, "Oh, they're counting down the
counting innings because Edwin Diaz can pitch 4+ innings." Okay,
What?
well I don't. I mean, not inning, 4+ outs.
Oh.
I'm like, I don't want him. For
Yeah, I was sitting there.
I don't want him for 1
Gabe,
out.
I turned to Gabe. I'm like, dude, like I don't know why he said that. Like I want them to bring in.
I don't know.
You know, at Xfinity
He's
Live, I
so
said to
out-
people, I said I want Edwin Diaz to come in right
Dude,
now.
the commentators, AJ Przinsky.
Oh, I hate. They're so biased,
They were
bro.
glazing us.
Well,
not
yeah.
Przinsky was a Brave. Wayno, he's a Cardinal, and then the other guy's just a broadcaster. I forget his name.
Adam Wainwright, I don't dislike, but
why were
Przinsky is just
why were
so
they
bad.
glazing the Mets nonstop?
I don't know.
I don't like
Przinsky
it.
should hate both the Mets and the Phillies. What? Like what?
I mean, he does work in New York, so.
guess.
I mean, we've had a great second half of the year, and like it's.
I guess he's just a big
we're
fan
a
of
good team
Grimace.
right now, but like glazing us.
Who isn't?
Yeah.
Honestly, if you were the Phillies, I think you would also.
That
like
aside, though, so obviously the new series that we have is obviously the Royals and the Yankees and the Tigers and the Guardians.
Yes.
And basically now all of the series are just like the wild card because they're
They're
now
all
all
wild
best
cards,
out of three.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Here's
they're
what I'll
all
say-
1-1.
Here's what I'll say
Every
about
series is tied at
the
1-1.
Royals
That's
Yankees
awesome.
series. The Yankees statistically this year are better on the road, which means I predicted. Are we doing our predictions yet? Should we start it? Should I start my predictions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yankees Royals series.
So you got the Royals?
No, I got the, I got the Yankees in 4, which means they win the next 2 games on the road
Interesting.
because they are a better road team than home team.
Okay.
So I want to hear your guys' predictions.
I-
I know who you're betting for.
I'm also going for the Yankees.
Whoa!
But
that's
I want the
sweet.
Royals to win,
Yeah, that's fair.
but I
That's
just
'cause
think
you hate me.
the Yankees are more. I mean, everybody dislikes the Yankees. I mean, come on. I mean, I think the Royals just have less talent right now, and I think Bobby Witt can only take them so far.
And Bobby Witt's not hitting right now.
Yeah, and
Well,
I mean,
neither-
Aaron Judge
neither
doesn't
is
hit in the
Judge.
playoffs. He never does.
At
He
least
never
he took a
has.
walk.
Yeah,
That's what he does.
Doesn't he bat under 200 in the playoffs in his playoff career?
Here's the actual stat. He bats 220 in his career, but he has a 740 OPS, which means he's walking.
Yeah.
He's just not hitting.
Yeah, I mean Bryce Harper
Which,
walks and hits.
To be
so
fair, here's the thing. Well, with the Phillies, no.
you want to hear a fun?
Career-wise,
You want to
yeah.
hear a fun statistic about Bryce Harper?
And then I'll do a fun statistic. With
So
that.
he has 12 career playoff home runs for the Phillies. That's the most in that time span, tied with Kyle Schwarber. Every single game he's hit a home run in the playoffs, the Phillies have won.
That's awesome. So just
Yeah.
hit a home run.
I saw another thing about Bryce Harper. I never saw that Sports Illustrated cover from when he was like 16 years
Well,
old.
when
He
he
had
was
a
in-
507-foot home run.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
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 What?
And that was actually the funny thing is that's proven. Like that's real. He actually
Yeah.
did.
How's that even possible?
I
mean, I guess like metal bat, but
He
like
was
Yeah.
before Steven Strasburg. Harper was the best.
He's
prospect of all
MV3.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But
He's MV3.
and you know
He's easily a
do
Hall
you
of
know about
Famer
Bryce Harper
already.
too? He graduated high school early so he can go to community college to then go to the majors or faster. It's crazy.
He's already a Hall of
He was a
Famer.
pitcher.
Yeah,
he
he
was a really good pitcher too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He was a
Okay,
catcher,
so
yeah.
here's a fun fact about Judge.
Make it quick so we could do predictions
Yeah.
real quick and then move on.
The reason why Judge is so bad in the playoffs is because pitchers pitch around him, and instead of him just taking walks, because he led the league in walks this year.
Pitchers pitch around Harper too.
Exactly, but here's the thing: Harper
should.
doesn't take walks.
I know.
He hits the ball. Judge tries to play hero ball, and instead of taking walks, he swings at bad pitches because he wants to play hero ball.
Yeah.
I want to hear your guys' predictions now.
I'm taking the Royals.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know how many
But
games.
the thing is, Bobby Witt is that.
I think
with
it's
him
gonna
hitting-
go. I think it's gonna go down in the last game between the
Game
two.
5. Okay,
Mhm.
but do you think Witt actually starts performing, or do you think he continues to suck?
I think he starts to perform.
If he doesn't, does your prediction still stand? Because right now he's 0 for
Here's
9.
this game. This next game
No.
is Seth
No?
Lugo
Okay.
pitching. That's a pivotal
Lugo's
game.
been good.
Lugo's been very good.
Here's
If
the
you
thing.
can beat
First-
him, like
first game, it was Michael Wacha because Cole Reagan's pitched in the wild card series,
Baca wasn't bad either.
but we also hit Wacha. I think we scored 3 runs off of him. Game 2 was Cole Reagan's. We can't hit lefties. So that's fine. We're
Cole
allowed to lose
Reagan's
that
is
game.
also a beast.
Exactly. Seth Lugo is also a beast, but he's right-handed, and the Yankees crush right-handers. I predict we score 2 runs off of him, and that's going to be enough to win the game.
Wow. Other series.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said it from day one. It's gonna be a Subway Series. Give me the Yankees.
In what? 4 or 5? Or 3? It can't be 3. 4 or 5.
I'll say 4.
Okay, cool. So
I
they win
mean,
the next
like-
2.
Yeah,
Who did
I'll
you
take
have
it on the
Yankees
road.
in? 4 or 5?
I'm gonna go 5.
Okay, that's fair. And let's move on to Tigers and Cleveland. Ben, might as well start with you.
I just think Cleveland doesn't have enough pitching. I said it going into the series.
Especially if they hit Class A.
I said it going into the playoffs. I said the Astros or the Tigers, whoever wins that series is going to be Cleveland. I love their offense, but they just don't have good starting pitching, and then that's really, I know as a Phillies fan, starting pitching is the most important thing.
Yeah, it is. True.
In the postseason.
And bullpens.
Bullpens.
Pitching, it's like defense in football. You have to have good.
The thing is, the Guardians have a great bullpen, but Detroit proved they can score runs on that bullpen. So I'm going to go Detroit in 5.
Their bullpen's very top heavy as well.
Yeah. I'm going to join you on that island. Let's go Detroit in 5.
Wow. I was going to say the exact same thing. Momentum.
Looks like we're all going to Cancun together.
Yeah. Except for me. Here's the thing. If I'm a Yankees fan, which I am.
You don't get to be a part of our drinking martinis vacation.
Yeah. That's fine. You guys are going to beat the Phillies and root for the Phillies. I am scared to face the Tigers because of how hot they are. And I think that's the only team that can stop the Yankees right now. So I'm going Guardians in 5 because the Yankees have a good career record against the Guardians in the playoffs. Last time they faced them was 2018, Game 5 ALDS, and we beat them until we lost to the Astros. So I'm going to go Guardians in 5, which then the Yankees will beat them in 6.
Cool. So wait, are you taking the Guardians because you think they'll be the easier matchup against the Yankees, not because you don't think?
Well,
do you think they're going to beat the Detroit?
But I think they're also going to beat Detroit.
Okay, yeah.
Next series, we have the Padres and Dodgers, and I'm going to take the Padres in 4.
I honestly have no idea who's going to win this series.
I'm going to take the Padres in 5.
I'm taking the Padres in 4.
Momentum carries these teams.
Taking the Padres in 5.
I'm taking I can't sit here and take them in 5. The way the Dodgers fans are acting and all, and the way the players are playing right now.
Are you a big believer of karma, where if they think they're going to win, then they're going to lose?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
I'm a big believer in
what comes around goes.
Yeah. So I think the Padres are going to win in 4. They're the hottest team in baseball.
And I feel bad for Ohtani, but honestly, your fans ruined it.
I want Ohtani to win one. I said if the Phillies, knock on wood, didn't make it, I would want Ohtani to win and Teoscar Hernandez, because all of you have known, and I've said it multiple times, one of my favorite baseball teams ever was the 2021 Blue Jays. Yeah. Back to Robbie Ray winning Cy Young, Simeon and Vladdy both being in the top 3. Kevin Gausman breakout year. Vladdy and Marcus Simeon both top 3 on MVP. Teoscar Hernandez had a crazy year. It was just a beautiful team.
Second year in the league.
Matt Chapman had a great year. Alejandro Kirk was an all-star.
Oh, my God.
Everybody was great.
Alek Manoah. I loved
Alek Manoah was great. Everybody was good.
He killed me in fantasy.
Santiago Espinal started breaking out, too. Everybody was great, and then he just fell apart.
Now he's killing it with the Reds.
Yeah.
They're their favorite team, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with...
He has them all in order.
I think I'm going to go with San Diego in 5 again. I was just thinking about it.
Sweep.
I think San Diego has slightly better starting pitching. I'm not going to go... I can't say starting pitch... I just have to go with starting pitching, man.
I also think about the whole...
Bullpen,
obviously, we don't curse on this podcast, but about the whole Jack Flaherty thing, where he was like, sit the bleep down, bleeping again. Like, it's what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to come
and
back.
Honestly, it's crazy to me that the Tigers traded Jack Flaherty and then became a better team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
a big deal, man.
We got the best series in the playoffs, in my opinion.
I'm gonna take the Phillies.
It's a fun one because of the fan bases.
I'm gonna take the Phillies in 5.
I think I'm taking the Phillies in 5. Here's why: Nola versus Manaea.
That's all I needed.
Aaron Nola is great against the New York Mets. You can look up his statistics.
Is he good on the road? Because I know the
reason he's great.
Okay,
you know Aaron Nola
because he's good at
Aaron Nola tied a record with the most strikeouts in a row in New York against the Mets. Yeah. So here's my prediction. I'm gonna go
messed everything up a little bit, didn't he?
tonight. Yeah. Tonight the Phillies are winning. Aaron Nola versus Manaea. Then the next game is just a scheduled loss. We have Ranger Suarez, who's been absolutely awful.
No, I think we did.
You have Quintana.
Yeah.
Oh, Quintana.
Oh.
And then the last game is Wheeler versus Senga.
There's no way you guys beat Zach Wheeler twice in the series. It's just not happening. It's just not happening.
Here's the thing.
That's
what it has?
Yes.
Really?
On ESPN, yes.
How many innings does he go?
That's the thing. If Senga pitches 6 shutout innings,
he's not going to be able to go 6.
He's going to go what?
I'm going to say this. I'm predicting it in 5, but the way it's going to work is, it'll go to 5 if the Mets hit off Ranger. If they don't, I could see the Phillies really hitting off of Quintana. So
Aaron Nola is 10-9. against the Mets.
Oh, you have to look at the statistics. That's because Aaron Nola was on some horrible teams.
Wins and losses don't matter, but the thing is, if he's 50-50 against the Mets, that's rough.
He made a fair point about how Nola's been on the team since those Cesar Hernandez, Michael Franco days, Freddie Galvis,
Ben Revere,
Odubel Herrera
Tommy
days,
Joseph,
man.
First baseman, catcher prospect.
J.P. Crawford.
I do think.
Darren Rupp.
Who do you got?
And Aaron Nola has proven in October.
All right, shouldn't ask who you got. What do you got them in?
Yeah.
Since I'm on the broadcasting team for this, I can't, I'm not allowed to have a say in the series, so I'm going to have to hand it over to Jake.
Actually? Really?
You're not allowed to have a say?
No, I'm joking.
You're on the broadcast team? What?
I don't like picking my favorite team.
I would love to live stream react to this, by the way.
I don't like this. I hate picking my favorite team
so do I.
in the playoffs. I just don't like it because I'm going to say the Mets are going to win. I don't want to go against them. I don't want to say the Mets are going to win because then they're going to lose. But you know what? If you guys can do it, then I can do it. Mets in 5. Kodai Senga's going to pitch 4 insane innings. Yeah. And it's just going to be too much. Listen, you guys had Wheeler and he shut us out for 7 innings.
That game, as I'm looking at Ben's computer, Game 5, it says tickets as low as $79.
Oh my God, let's go.
I'll go.
If we buy them right now, they would be $79.
But wait,
are we
allowed to buy them right now?
Yeah.
We're home.
That's why they're so cheap, because it's probably not going to happen, because we're probably going to beat the Mets twice.
What happens if they don't do it? Do we get our money back?
Yeah,
I don't think so. I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure
if you buy it on a secondhand market, I don't think you can. If you buy it directly.
Is that on a secondhand market?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to risk that?
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later.
We'll touch base on that. Jake, make your prediction real quick.
I agree with Gabe. Mets in 5.
All right, cool. So obviously, to give a quick rundown, moving into our next segment.
That's AI.
It's AI.
To give a quick rundown from, we're not even going to talk about the games because obviously we missed our episode last week due to some technical difficulties. So I'm just going to give the rundown on the scores from that past week in the NFL that we missed out on.
I can still give the rundown of our predictions. What are you doing?
Just covering the Giants.
Yeah, depending on time. So Thursday Night Football, Cowboys-Giants. Cowboys won 20-15.
We could just skip this, I feel like, and just do this week, right? Last week?
I want to hit both just because we missed it. Then, obviously, moving into Sunday, the Saints lost to the Falcons 26-24, an absolute banger of a game if you guys are watching. Then there was the Bengals winning against the Panthers 34-24. The Rams starting off 1-4 hurts me a lot. And losing to Caleb Williams of all quarterbacks, 24-18.
The best rookie quarterback, obviously.
The Vikings won, once again, 31-29 over the Packers.
Those two teams are going to be two of the best in that.
Jake's going to love it when I say this once again. The Texans beat Jacksonville 24-20.
Which
as you know, Jake is an all-time Trevor Lawrence hater. I'm going to say one thing on that, by the way. Obviously, everybody in this room knows I'm a Georgia fan. I don't know why Trayvon Walker was just named the captain of the Jaguars. They're just saying anything at this point.
He's too young.
He's also not worth a first overall pick. That aside, he was great in college. But that aside, he just did not pan out.
Second year on.
There was the Anthony Richards game where the Colts beat the Steelers 27-24.
And then he gets hurt.
Joe Flacco,
And then he gets hurt. Yep. That always happens. The Broncos beat the Jets 10-9.
Horrible
the
game.
Buccaneers beat the Eagles 33-16.
We talked about that, right?
Jaden Daniels once again, my guy. He's always cooking.
What a player.
42-14 against the Cardinals.
MVP?
Yes, 100%.
Honestly, yeah.
Top 3.
Probably Chris's best take of all time.
Thank you. I truly appreciate that, guys. Thank you from all you guys. I appreciate it. I've always been a Jaden Daniels lover. The 49ers beat the Patriots. Not a shocker. 30-13. Chiefs beat the Chargers 17-10. The Raiders beat the Browns 20-16. The Browns are looking awful. The Ravens beat the Bills, which I thought was going to be closer than what it was, but 35-10. And then Monday Night Football, we had 2 football games with Ben's Titans beating the Dolphins 31-12.
Tighten up, baby.
And the Lions beating the Seahawks 42-29. Moving on, though, into this past week to give you your recap.
How much have you bet 10 on?
We had an absolute banger of a Thursday Night Football game. If you didn't know, Baker Mayfield and Kirk Cousins decided to turn into Peyton Manning and Brady all over again. The Falcons won that game 36-30.
On the topic
Yes.
of Baker Mayfield, real quick, did you guys see that video with him and all the Buccaneers fans?
Yeah,
Like he was dressed up.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, like
I
Eli
did see
Manning.
that.
Yeah, it was like Eli Manning. It was like on his show.
I did see
I want to
that.
watch that. It looks funny.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know what it's on.
I just want to say the NFC South has been, for me, the most surprising and honestly most impressive division. I think any team in that division could make the playoffs and win a
Oh
playoff
my God,
game.
he's including the Panthers right now, guys.
Yeah.
They've been impressive. I'm surprised they won a game.
Guys,
But can we? Is the NFC East the best division in football though?
Not this year.
No, not this
You
year.
don't think so?
Well, it's the most competitive still.
It is the most
I'm
competitive.
still
the
gonna
best
say
ball.
AFC North.
All 4 teams are good.
The Bengals are looking bad.
They're starting.
The Browns
to,
are
they're starting
really
to get
bad.
The Browns are really
The
bad.
Browns
the Browns,
really
the
bad.
Browns are not going to make it.
The Browns could get the number 1 overall pick
That
again.
aside, that aside, the rest of the predictions are the games. The Vikings beat the Jets 23-17.
Technically, I can do the rundown and say who wins if you want me to do that.
Oh yeah, it's been 2 weeks since we.
Yeah.
Well, let him go through this. And then
Okay.
we'll get to that.
Yeah, there was another banger of a game.
Oh my God! Game of
Oh wait, I missed one.
Okay.
There was the Bears and the Panthers. Bears won 36-10. Not a shocker. Then there was the banger of a game,
I had Ravens money
which
line.
could
That
be
was
game of the
insane.
year, which was Ravens versus Bengals. The Ravens won 41-38
After 38-28.
after Joe Burrow threw what 5 touchdowns.
And after McPherson missed a field goal because their rookie place kicker
Yep, I saw
fumbled the ball.
And then it goes to overtime. And who was it that fumbled the ball? Was it Lamar Jackson?
That's the thing. First drive, Lamar Jackson fumbles the ball. Then at midfield, they get into field goal range. McPherson tries to kick. Place kicker fumbles the ball.
Yep.
Derrick Henry runs like a 70-yard run to the goal line. And
then
they
they
kick
kick
the
Then
field
there
goal.
was
I saw somebody bet 5K on the Ravens to win that game right before the Bengals field goal attempt, and they won.
Wow.
How much do you win from that?
I don't know,
much.
but it was a lot.
Then there was the Texans beating the Bills 23-20. The Jaguars winning their first game of the
That's
season,
funny, that game. By the way.
37-34 over the Colts.
Gabe, what's this? On our
I
spreadsheet,
think I typoed.
Gabe goes, when we're guessing the game for Bills
Everyone
and
picked
Texans,
Colts.
everybody picked Texans, but Gabe goes Bills. TF?
They looked really good up to that point. The Texans lost their game last week, right?
Then there
It
was
wasn't a terrible pick.
the Dolphins beating the Patriots 15-10. Commanders winning once again. Jaden Daniels bowling out. It's the Browns, but like still 34-13. Broncos beat up on the Raiders this week, and they're 3-2. They've
Can I
winning
just say about
record,
the Browns? It's so
34-18.
It's so sad that they're horrible again. I feel
well.
so bad for Browns fans.
I just feel bad for Myles Garrett. That's about it. The Cardinals beat the 49ers this week 24-23. The Packers won over the Rams 24-19. Quick question about this next game, because there was a lot of funny stuff that happened in this
Keep in
game.
mind, I was watching the Mets.
The
game,
Giants
so it was-
beat the Seahawks 29-20. And, I wasn't watching that game. I forget where I was, but I wasn't watching that game. My question was,
You were at Xfinity Live watching the Phillies game.
that is true.
True.
I kind of, the second I looked up at the TV screen, all I saw was the guy on the Seahawks running from the goal line
I can
to
explain
the
that.
whole opposite side of the field. I didn't know what happened.
I can explain this. It cancels out, right?
Yes.
Because
There
we
were
had
two
that-
plays. There were two really big plays.
Yeah, we had that at the beginning. The game was the first.
Explain it.
It was
to
we
the-
drove
to
down
the
the
fans.
field.
Okay, we had the best
Go ahead.
start to a Giants game ever. We drove down the
Yes.
yard, the field. We started at the 25, 74-yard drive to the 1-yard line. Was it a QB sneak or a handoff?
No, it was a handoff to Gray. I
Gray.
think.
And then
he
he
broke the plane. He broke the plane.
It's a
and then fumbled
touchdown.
it.
It was a touchdown. But then he which does the touchdown negate the fumble? It should, right?
I don't know how.
So
it
then
works
he-
because
he
wasn't
fumbled.
Down. He, wasn't
He
down
fumbled.
So
the
wait-
Raven picked it up.
The
and
Seahawks.
Sorry, Seahawk. Yeah, I thought it was the Ravens. It's bird. Anyway, the Seahawk
Fair.
picked it up. The
And
Seahawk
ran
picked
it
up.
all the way back.
And the thing is,
So what you're
the
saying is you
refs
pulled a
never-
Temple University.
Yes, and the refs never
Temple.
blew the
But then you guys
whistle.
proceeded to do that back to that.
Sorry.
And then the thing
Temple
is,
is
this
really
is why
pissing me
Dable's a
off,
good
bro.
coach, because we didn't stop. And apparently, I was talking to my dad, of all people, and he was telling me that Dable last week yelled at the players for losing, and then challenged a bunch of players, which is why we came back with a vengeance against the Seahawks.
Wow.
So good for Dable. He's not getting fired because he's not a bad coach.
He's
Daniel
such a good
Jones
coach.
is just a bad QB, but he looks good again. I don't know.
He
The
looked pretty good.
last-
The stats say he's good, but I mean, when you do the eye test, he just doesn't.
The
look
last 2 games from the week, I want to say the Monday Night Football game because I got something to say about the Sunday Night Football game. So obviously the Chiefs beat the Saints on Monday Night Football 26-13. Going into that Sunday Night Football game though, of the Cowboys beating Steelers 20-17. First off, that game was very boring. Second of all, I hope you know who this is. Do you know the Tony podcast show thing with the guy Tony and the other guy? They're real Italian. They always
Oh
talk about the
yeah.
birds. Dude, they are both hilarious. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Who?
They're 2 delusional Eagles fans.
Oh my God, is that the guy that
They're both older.
Okay,
They're
was
Italian
it-
older
was-
guys.
Was that the clip where the guy was like, Bryce Harper's overrated, and then the other guy was like, that's the worst take
Yeah,
I've ever
yeah,
seen.
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
So they made a fun. They're all about jokes and stuff.
Okay,
They made
are
it.
they,
They're not serious,
Are they
though.
They're not
saturated
serious at all.
Phillies fans,
Yeah,
basically.
pretty
Yes.
much,
So they made a video, obviously, about the game, and he said this win doesn't even count because he played in 2 different days.
For who?
He-
For what team?
The Dak Prescott.
Oh.
He said they played in 2 different days, and he said this is the prime time for when the Cowboys like to go out clubbing.
Well, the good thing we could take away from this game is now CeeDee Lamb hates Dak Prescott. That's what
Yes,
we could take away from
yes.
this game.
To give some input, they got into it.
Honestly, funny stat about this too. The last week for football was the first ever week I sports bet, and I was going to bet. I bet the Cowboys. This was the parlay. Cowboys money line, Dak Prescott anytime touchdown. Except I accidentally took the under. It was an over/under pick. It was half a touchdown. I accidentally took the under, and I won the bet.
Didn't you do that once?
Yeah.
I feel like
I did that my
remember-
first week betting
was,
too.
I was
That's the
crapping
best
my
feeling.
pants because I thought it would be a terrible pick, and I couldn't change it because I already submitted it. But I won.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'm the best sports bettor of all time.
All right.
I have-
1 for 1.
I have an idea
If you're
for
1 for 1,
for
just
this.
stop.
Just right?
Just stop.
Right?
Call
I have an
it.
idea for for these predictions. I think what we should do.
Wait, I got something before we go into the
Well,
predictions.
I'm just gonna say this.
Say it real quick.
There's a few things. One, my computer's dying. So I think what we should do is we should have the people look at the Instagram for the predictions and save them for the Instagram.
Nah, we have to say it.
Okay. Also,
we
you
have
can
to
just
say
stop
it.
the recording and put it on someone's computer.
No, that's fine. I can probably just go get my charger.
We have to
grab
say
it.
the
Yeah, yeah.
predictions.
Off camera, we go.
Okay, quick. Eagles picks. Go.
Wait, no. Hold on. We're not. I got a question
next section,
to. I got a
go
question
right
to ask right before we go into our predictions.
Do you want me to do the rundown, or should we skip it for this week?
No, you can do the rundown. I got a question though,
Okay.
real quick before we go into the predictions, which will hold him off to grab his charger and all too. This isn't about one of the big sports that we usually touch base on, but it is a sports related question. So my question to you guys is, because I have an opinion on this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to jump into the college football world for a second,
Okay.
since we're still on the topic of football.
Did Archie Manning play last week?
Yes.
Did he do good again?
Yes.
I love Archie.
Speaking of that, they're playing against Georgia soon. Go Dogs.
Is it Quinn Ewers or Archie playing? Try to.
I don't know.
There's slack. Keep pulling it.
So here's my question though that I'm gonna pin on you guys.
Okay.
Is this gonna be the first time in a little bit that a running back wins the Heisman this year?
Is it Genty?
Ashton Jeanty.
Dude, he already has 1,000 rushes.
This
yards.
kid, I'm sorry, this kid is putting up Barry Sanders numbers right now.
He's with
He
who?
is the greatest running, Boise State. He is the greatest running back we've seen since Derrick Henry,
Is he-
and his stats are already
I have a
looking
question.
close to
I
Derrick
haven't
Henry.
watched Boise at all. Is it
Jake,
worth watching?
Jake,
Is it worth watching?
can I just hit you with stats? Can I just hit
well,
you
I know
with
he's the
stats?
quickest to 1,000 since like Derrick Henry.
Let me hit you with crazier stats than
While
that,
you're pulling
though.
those up, it's only worth watching for the first half because he gets subbed out in the second. Once he has like 200 yards.
Wait, so he gets subbed out in the first half and still has over
Listen,
1,000 yards?
listen.
Sometimes, yeah.
For 2024, he has 95 carries for 1,031 yards and 16 touchdowns
undefeated?
with an average of 10 and 9 yards per carry. They're 4-1.
How did they lose a game?
But listen, let me hit you with this, right? In 2023, he had 220 carries for 1,300 yards. He's done this in 95 carries already, bro. This dude is going to hit 2K this year.
Are you able to go to game by game stats because it'll show you he has significantly less carries. There you go. 13 he was taken out in the first half, probably. 26 is
he was taken out in the first half because
taken out in the first half.
Wait, they lost when he scored 3
They lost by 3 to
192?
Oregon. They lost by 3 to Oregon, one of the best teams in the country.
It's got to be.
So, wait, does Boise get ranked just because of Genty?
No, they lost by 3 to Oregon. That's why. Like, Oregon's really good.
So G&T is
do they get ranked?
him.
They are ranked.
For what? What's Boise's rank? Probably like 15 or something. Right?
Look, so the way college football...
I don't think they are. I don't think they are yet.
For you and our fans at home, the way the new college football playoff works is... They can make it because it's the four best... like Power 4 conference champions, and then out of the rest of the conferences, it's the best other conference champion. Which if they go undefeated the rest of the season, they're gonna make it.
To pin the question on you guys, does he win it? Does he win it?
Yeah. I don't see any way that he does it.
It's either him or Jalen Milroe.
And Milroe just lost to him.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Jalen Milroe, right? That guy stinks.
I think if he gets to 2K yards, which he should definitely win it.
Yeah, and
he'll
be a top 10 pick.
He is the best running back at the college level since
Derrick Henry.
No, probably since Melvin Gordon for me. Okay. Melvin Gordon was really good.
Derrick Henry.
But Melvin Gordon was...
I thought Barkley was like the most...
Derrick Henry
Lamar Jackson was a really good... Sorry.
Jaden Daniels was a good runner too. Here's the thing, I'll say. I know running backs aren't valued in the NFL anymore, but they're still worth taking a first-round pick on because this guy is in his prime, and you'll have 5 years of control if you take him in the first round. That's why Bijan was a top 10 pick. That's why Jahmyr Gibbs was the 12th overall pick.
I question the Jahmyr Gibbs pick at first, but it's definitely paying down.
That's why Barkley was the number 2.
But at the same time, even if they didn't pick Jahmyr Gibbs, Montgomery's been phenomenal.
Yeah. But also,
you're bad.
Every good team in the NFL, well, mostly good teams, have a 1-2 punch in the backfield, which is why
Kenny G.
Commanders are good. That's why
the Eagles are good.
Well,
the Eagles don't really have a number 2.
They don't have a number
Kenny
2.
G.
Really. Yeah.
Will Shipley's good too.
I get mad every time Kenny G touches
the Ravens are even good with Justice Hill. That's why they're good.
The Lions. We could have
exactly.
Yeah, the Ravens are even better though with Gus Edwards.
That's why, and even I would say the Ravens. Jets? Yeah, the Jets have a really good with Braylon Allen and Breece Hall. Yeah. I mean, that's why the better teams in the league have 2 good running backs, but teams just don't want to pay them, which sucks. Now the Niners with McCaffrey, if he comes back, and Jordan Mason, they're going to be amazing.
But you know what, guys? Guess what?
What?
It's Jake's time to shine. He's already got the sheet opened up.
Yeah, you guys can actually see the sheet.
We got our prediction sheet opened up.
You got to tell them the record from 2 weeks ago. Too.
Yes, hit us with the records.
I'm gonna recap week 5, not week 4, but I will still say the week 4 records going into week 5. Week 4 records. I believe going from week 3, it was a 3-way tie between me, Chris, and Gabe.
Yes.
Week 4, we finished with. By the way, if you check out,
somebody was 5-11. Sorry.
No.
Okay.
I hope it's not me.
So, by the way, if you follow the Instagram, you will.
What do you mean if? What do you mean if?
Dude,
follow the Instagram.
Yeah, it's actually popping off, honestly. Yeah. And we just got invited to go get put on like a 14,000 follower account. So
we'll see.
All right,
we'll see.
Give us from 4 to 1.
Awesome.
Week 4. I'll go last place from week 4. Last place, Ben, 31-33. You actually had a really good week last week, or 2 weeks ago. And then Gabe, you were in 3rd with a 33-31, flip-flop from Ben. Chris, 2nd place, 34-30, and I was in 1st place, 36-28. That was going into week 5. Now, this is the week 5 rundown. Starting right now, Chris, we start with you because we have a new 1st place. Give it up for Chris, everybody.
Wow.
Chris has taken the lead over me because he had 3 more wins this week than I did. I had the worst week, but the thing is, I was still at 500, which is crazy because usually the worst week is below 500, but I was still at 500.
I guess we're getting better at predictions.
Exactly. So, and I'll tell you who definitely got better. Ben, this is your best week yet.
Let's go.
Believe it or not, you are now 41-37. Over 500 on the year, which I thought was impossible.
Let's go.
And now you are actually.
I guess the Titans have to get a bye week.
You are 2 games behind 3rd place now, which is crazy.
I was like 7 games behind.
Exactly. So the past 2 weeks have been on a tear.
I'm like the Detroit Tigers, baby.
We'll start with Ben. Ben, you didn't have one really good pick. You just had a bunch of easy picks and a bunch of consensus picks. We'll go with your best pick. I believe I put on the graphic. Your best pick was the Broncos, even though you three all guessed the Broncos. I lost the Broncos. But, I mean, that was a 50-50, I feel like. And
it was
you
Broncos
won the 50-50,
versus who?
the Raiders.
I picked the Broncos?
You picked the Broncos.
Oh.
So
I didn't think I did.
Well, good for. Do you want it? I'll change it.
No.
So Ben, you picked the Broncos. Good for you. You also picked the Texans, the Packers, the Chiefs. Your worst loss, honestly, was the Seahawks, where you guys split with us because we're Giants fans. And honestly, good for you because I thought the Seahawks were supposed to win.
I didn't even know why.
I don't even remember putting the Giants on there.
Like, honestly,
Tyrese Halliburton. What the heck?
Yeah, I know. I turned into Tyrese Halliburton for a second. Carl Anthony Towns, all those guys that have two voices. Yeah, I thought I put the Seahawks on there, and then I looked. I'm like, oh.
All right, so
exactly.
who was third though?
Third place. Actually, there isn't a third place. You guys all tied for first. Good for you. I'll say my worst record. I was the worst record. I was 7-7. You guys were 10-4.
What was our biggest wins and losses?
Okay, I'll start with Gabe and then I'll go on to ours. So Gabe, your biggest win this week. Once again, you didn't have a very big win. You just didn't have a big loss either. Your biggest
Giants, right?
Your biggest win was the Giants, which mine as well. You beat the Seahawks. The Giants won, and I would say your best win. Or your worst loss, honestly.
Definitely the Bills, right?
The Bills.
Yeah.
Honestly,
what about you?
The Bills lost to the Texans. Me, I was 7-7. My worst loss, I had so many island picks this week, and honestly, last week, and that screwed me. The Browns lost. You guys all picked the Browns. The Raiders lost. You guys all picked the Broncos. The Rams lost. You all picked the Packers. And the Saints lost. You all picked the Chiefs. So you pretty much conspired against me, and it worked for you. So good job to you guys.
Oh, you picked the Browns this past week?
I did, and I'm going to pick the Browns again. Now,
spoiler,
wow. Yeah. Chris, finally, the new first place in the league. Your worst loss, which you only had one bad loss, it was the Patriots against the Dolphins, which, honestly, that was a 50-50, I thought. So you lost.
It was a 50-50 because of the sole factor that they have no quarterback on the Dolphins.
But every other pick was amazing. Your other bad pick was the Seahawks, but again, a 50-50.
Let me hear my biggest win.
You lost. You don't have a biggest. Actually, you do have a biggest win. The Cardinals versus the Niners. You chose the Cardinals, which everybody was so confused about, but you predicted it perfectly.
I should have stuck with my guns.
Yeah, exactly.
Marvin Harrison, baby.
So the Cardinals and the Niners. You also had a bunch of good consensus
I picked Jaden
wins.
Daniels this week.
You picked Jaden Daniels.
Of course.
You picked the Bears. You picked the Vikings. Surprisingly, you picked Caleb Williams. That was crazy. You picked them twice now. The Texans, the Ravens, and a bunch of other. You picked the Cowboys.
Guess what, Jake?
So, congrats to Chris, the new first place.
Guess what, Jake?
Week.
It's time for you to open up the new week.
Wait, real quick, what's the overall records on the season?
Overall records. We'll start from the bottom. Ben, over 500, 41-37. Good for you.
Not bad.
You're coming back.
Then it's Gabe.
And you're making it more competitive. Gabe, 43-35, tied for second with me. 43-35, and Chris, you have a 1-game lead. 44-34.
Damn, I'm only 3 games back.
44-34.
I could be in first place. I could be in first place.
Very close to being in second place. You gotta make some fire picks this week. So let's get into it.
All right.
Thursday night football. We have the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. Rival game.
I have trouble with these kind of games.
I'm having trouble with this.
I hate picking a division rival on the road, but I feel like
I'm taking the Niners.
I have to take the Niners. There's no way they start off 2-4, right?
I'm overthinking it. I'm overthinking it. I'm taking the Niners.
Yes,
same. In the words of Jamal Charles, I want the San Francisco 49ers.
Jake.
We are starting off
with Jake.
Consensus on Thursday night. So we are all rooting for the Niners.
Well, that's bad for me.
Yeah, well, good for him. Bad for me, yes.
Next up, this is a tough one for me.
I think you guys know where I'm going with this one.
I know where you're going, but it's the Bears and the Jaguars.
Here's the thing. Fun stat: last Sunday was Trevor Lawrence's birthday. It was also Bryson Stott's birthday, so I guess that's why they both suck.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Bryson Stott had a beautiful.
He also got thrown out at seconds.
So here's my thing with this game. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to end up leaving Doug Peterson in Europe when they come back after a loss and he gets fired.
This is a European game?
It's at 9:30, so I'm assuming it is.
Oh.
Yeah, it does say 9:30. Yeah.
So I'm going with Chicago. I think Doug Peterson's time is running out. I think he saved his job with the win. I think if he loses,
do you want him back?
Huh?
Do you want him back?
No.
This is.
I honestly
tough.
was surprised he wasn't the first coach fired. I can't believe Robert Saleh got
Yeah,
fired.
me too.
It makes sense they're playing in Tottenham Hotspur because neither of these teams are going to win a championship
Ooh.
this year.
This is
Oh,
tough.
Damn, that was
I
a
like
quick
that
diss.
one.
Can you two pick and then I go?
Yeah, sure. Gabe, we'll start with you.
All right, I'll take the Bears.
Cool.
I mean, I don't think this is going to be an
Here's the
exciting
thing.
game.
Remember last year the Disney game that was played on like the toy field
Yeah.
with the Jaguars? The Jaguars won that, and that's why I'm like the Jaguars might win back.
They are used to playing in London. They play there every year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why do they
exactly.
play there every year?
Because Chad Connon's the
And
State.
also the Jaguars are the most likely team to get like rebranded.
because
Yeah,
because
no,
their
'cause
owner
everybody
owns
knows
property.
Right.
Like he owns the stadium.
I've
Exactly.
never felt bad for London before, but
Unfortunately,
now I kind of do.
I'm never gonna root for Trevor Lawrence unless I absolutely have to. I'm going with the Bears. Which the Bears are they technically the home team? There's no home team. It
Yeah,
says.
they're not.
Okay, because the Bears are undefeated. at
Well, one
home
of
the
them is
past 8
designated the home team. I'm assuming it's the Panthers.
Really? The Panthers? They're not even playing.
Or it's the Jaguars. It's
Actually,
another cat.
Yeah.
Same
I
Love
don't
that.
know who they give the home team to. If they give it to the Bears, I'm rooting the Bears. If they give it to the Jaguars, I'm still voting the Bears.
I guess the only way to kind of judge that is by the jerseys that they're wearing.
Yes.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Which away team actually gets first pick, so I don't know.
Oh,
That's how it works in every sport.
I guess.
Guys,
I'm
I'm
used to,
gonna-
like,
I'm gonna steal some of Jake's words, but twist it into my own.
Okay.
Into my own. When in doubt, pick a Georgia dog. Give me the Bears.
But wait a minute. What about Trayvon Walker?
I'm talking about DeAndre Swift.
Wait, Trayvon Walker also was a Georgia Bulldog, right?
Yeah, but Trayvon Walker stinks.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I can't argue against that.
All right.
DeAndre Swift came on fire game. Yeah, I'll let you guys do
This
this,
is the game
one.
of the week.
I'll let you guys do this one because I know who I'm picking.
Honestly, okay.
Game of the week.
Game of the week.
Okay.
We got the Ravens and the Commanders.
Oh, we're skipping. Okay, we're going to that one. Did we miss one?
no,
It's just the order that
Okay.
this website's on. I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens. I think my prediction, and clip this. You can clip this. I think
Oh,
Lamar
smart.
Jackson is going to win another MVP this year.
I think Sam Darnold wins it.
I think Lamar Jackson is having an underrated season, and I think Baltimore is going to win that
His
division.
turnover numbers are too much right now, though.
But they're not crazy though. They're kind of just like what he does, a little bit above what he does.
Josh Allen and Sam Darnold have way less turnovers, which will help propel them. But I agree that he's going to be top 3.
But I think it's really early. But
yeah.
this is my prediction. I think Lamar Jackson's going to win MVP. I think the Ravens
I
are
know
going to
we're
win this
looking at
game.
each other right
and
now.
and here's the thing. I think
My eyebrow's been sitting up for 5 minutes now.
Washington's
after I
schedule
heard that
is
come out.
Washington's schedule is so easy that I feel like they're going to have to lose.
What you're
some
trying
games.
to tell me is if this dude gets over 100 yards every game, that you don't see Saquon winning MVP?
Whoa.
I don't think a running back can win MVP. Unfortunately,
anything,
I think he's going to win
CMC
Offensive Player of the Year.
I just had this argument with someone this morning. Actually, CMC should have won it last year, and that was the best chance for a running back to ever win.
Yeah, I think I think Saquon's going to win Offensive Player of the Year, but I think
Yeah.
I think that's if they play well.
All right,
the rest of the year.
all right,
yeah,
you pick the Ravens.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Here's the thing. I'm going to stick with my guns and say the only NFC quarterback to ever beat Lamar Jackson was Daniel Jones, and it's gonna stay that way. Give me the Ravens.
Yeah. I remember that game.
Right? And he's
I'm-
still the only
Gabe-
NFC quarterback to beat him.
I'm also going the Ravens. I think this Commanders team is good. I just don't trust them
Are you
against a
sticking to your
really
guns,
good
Chris?
team.
Are you sticking to your guns? Jaden Daniels? Going an island.
We're making eye contact
MVP?
right now.
Right?
We're making eye
Rookie of
contact
the year.
right now. Zach Ertz, Brian Robinson, Terry McLaurin, soon to
Are
be
getting their
Devontae
second
Adams, Jaden Daniels. Give me the Commanders, obviously.
Whoa.
Give me the command. If anybody's beating
Now,
Lamar
I have a
Jackson,
question.
it's gonna be Jaden Daniels.
I have a question. I agree with that. Honestly, I do agree with that. But
Jaden
does-
Daniels MVP.
If the Commanders, if you're saying is true and you're predicting Adams to the Commanders, will it happen before this game or after this game?
After.
Okay. So you're agreeing that Adams won't help this game if
No.
he does get traded?
No.
Okay.
But that's why I said soon to be.
Okay.
Of course, I'm gonna take Jaden Daniels though. He's gonna beat
I have
Lamar,
another
and then
question.
I'll get a
Gabe,
good
did
win
you-
out of
I have
it.
another question for you. Are you going to predict Jaden Daniels for the rest of the season to win?
No way.
So you just
They gotta take some losses.
But you really believe they're going to beat the Ravens?
100%.
Okay.
Well, they still have to play the
I like
Eagles.
to take it honestly. If you want to extend your lead in first place, this is what you got to do.
Yeah.
100%.
I
But
agree.
wait, did you make a pick?
Yeah, I took the
Yeah,
Ravens.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm
Next,
just asking,
I'm on
yes.
an island. Next up, this is a fun one. We have the Cardinals and the Packers.
Last week I didn't go with my gut. This week I am. I'm going Arizona on the road in Green Bay. I think Green Bay honestly has played worse since their quarterback came back. Like,
honestly,
they've played. Jordan Love has been not very good.
I'm excited.
And I really like this Cardinals team. I said they're going to be scrappy all year. I think they're going to finish around 500, maybe make a push for that last playoff spot.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a crucial game for the playoffs because I don't think. I mean, Minnesota's way ahead of Green Bay
They're also
already.
not the worst team in their division.
Exactly.
What's
so
your pick?
I'm going Arizona.
Because I'm intrigued to hear your pick.
Listen, I have a very important date up here. It's the new Call of Duty release date. It's October
Oh,
25th.
when is that? When is that? for?
October 25th.
Why are we talking about that?
We're talking about that because it's a couple weeks away. We know there's a big fan of Call of Duty in
Well,
this week.
actually, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, though.
But we're talking
In his
about
contract,
football.
he's not allowed to play. He's only allowed to play like an hour a game.
Yo, it just clicked in my head. It just clicked in my
You gotta
head.
put the light bulb above his head.
I didn't understand what he was talking about at all.
That's an hour a day that you're
Until
taking
now.
away from film study.
Yeah.
And, like, who knows? He might be doing that hour at, like, 11 so we can get that 11 to 1
He needs
a.m.
that
2
quick
hours
hit.
at the same
He
time.
needs that quick hit.
It's time to start gearing up. He's probably out of Call of Duty.
Guys,
tape at
I
this
know
point.
they're
He
on a
start
bye
gearing up.
week, but would that have meant that the Dolphins would lose because Tyreek Hill would go play Fortnite?
Why would he play Fortnite?
He always does.
But he's allowed to. He's good.
But, I mean, the Dolphins are bad anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Healy's his biggest op.
Give
But
me,
yeah.
give me the
That was
Packers.
I'm going
Green Bay.
with Gabe. I'm going with the Packers.
Yeah.
When in doubt, bet against
Ben.
50% of the time.
50% of the time, I'm going with the Packers.
Okay. I'm on
Honestly, honestly, I feel bad for the Cardinals. I don't think I voted for them yet, but I'm going to continue to vote against them because
You seem to
I
win
need.
when you don't
Hey,
pick 'em.
hey,
Yeah.
move me up in those standings. Move me up.
I think this is the
I
pick
would
that
pick.
if you were smart, you would change your pick right now. But if you want to move up, then keep it.
Yeah, I'm not changing it. I'm sticking
Okay,
to
but
my
All
I'm
right.
guessing you're gonna choose the
Next,
Titans then.
before I go into my baseball news real quick, I had another piece of news that unfortunately is not going to go in Jake's favor today.
What?
And then the other piece of news isn't going to go in Gabe's favor. With that being said, Jake, you're a Rangers fan.
For the
Hockey.
yes. For hockey,
You are about to
yes.
lose your starting goalie.
for the year,
Igor Shesterkin
He's
is
good.
going to be leaving your team.
as in he got traded.
No, as in he declined.
His player option.
No, he declined a huge contract extension that would have been the craziest goalie
Okay.
contract ever.
But he still will play, right?
Yes, but more than likely this looks like he's gonna wind up leaving the Rangers.
After this season.
Yeah, for the
Whoa.
sole factor because if you decline, hockey money is not huge compared to other sports,
Yeah.
and if you declined in 8 years, $11 million per year, which is almost what McDavid's getting paid,
For a goalie, that's crazy.
a goalie, he's
Yeah.
gone. That means there's got to be problems or something in the
So-
background.
Hey,
or
Philadelphia
something
Flyers,
like
baby.
that.
Does this mean that
He
might
is
get
rumored
traded?
to go to the Flyers as
Rumored
one team,
as a
but
free
I don't
agent?
know
Free agency or
who he
traded?
goes. It could be either or at this point.
Now,
is
I have
what
a
we're
question
looking
'cause I
like.
don't know
Because
hockey.
if you decline a contract like
I
that,
have
it
two
means you're
questions.
gone.
First of all, he's a good goalie, right? Like,
He's a phenomenal
He
goalie.
deserves that money.
He's a phenomenal goalie.
Second, what does goalie value for trading? Is that similar to like a winger or a center?
Depends on the goalie.
But if he's that good, he's going to get a big package, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, is he rumored to be traded, or is he just rumored to leave in free agency?
Rumored to leave.
So he still has one more year.
Yes.
So that means this year is the year for the Rangers to hopefully win the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
In other news, we have the unfortunate passing today of El Tiante, a Boston Red Sox pitching legend. He won 2 ERA titles, I believe.
Good for him.
He's four times in his career, he's won over 20 games in a season. Now obviously there was the unfortunate news for Shesterkin leaving. I said it was going to affect Jake. Now you might question yourself and say, "Oh, why does this affect Gabe?" Because Nick Castellanos plays today.
Oh.
I was wondering how you're gonna.
Yeah, I
bring
had
that
no
in.
idea.
Nick Castellanos plays today, guys.
Let's go.
He plays
No,
today.
wait, real quick, before we move on, I mean, I don't know how much you guys know about just history in general, but he's 83 years old when he passed away today.
Mhm.
That means he came over, 50, 60 years ago? That's well within when Castro was in power there. How did he even get over here?
Well, I mean, Castro was in power until what, like 10 years ago ish?
Probably a
Pretty much.
little.
Less, right?
No, actually,
Little
yeah,
more?
probably like 10 years ago.
Yeah, around 10
That's
years
crazy.
ago.
I remember
So
when that
every
happened, yeah.
Cuban-born player since then. Even like I think Yuli Gurriel and Lourdes Gurriel had to
Aroldis
escape.
Chapman.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Robert Cuban?
Yes,
I
and
thought so.
Yohan Moncada. Which last time for the WBC, the World Baseball Classic, Cuban MLB players were allowed to play for their team for their first time in history because Fidel Castro is a jerk. Anyway, that means that guys dating back to literally like players still in the league, like Gurriel, he's 36.
Right.
Nah, he's Yuli.
Like 38, right?
He's like 39.
Exactly. So he escaped like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah,
You were talking about him though.
And-
You were talking about Yuli though, right? Not Lourdes.
Well, Lourdes as well. He escaped around that time, probably with his brother and Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah.
They're all guys that had to escape. Even Luis Robert potentially. I'm not sure how long ago he came over, but they all had to escape the Cuban government, and that means they had to leave their families. They had to leave their friends. They had to risk their lives and their family lives just to come over and play baseball. So honestly, round of applause for the people able to do that.
Props.
It is so risky and so scary because if you get caught, your career and your life is basically you're thrown in jail for the rest of your life.
Yep.
And your family's thrown in jail for the rest of their lives, and you get punished. But
Guess what though?
Good for them.
We are back to our picks. Texans and Patriots. I'm gonna go with the Texans. This should be a consensus.
Yes.
Texans.
And
Ben?
a little behind the scenes, this is the third time we're predicting this because we're having technical issues. And
Ben
Ben is going delirious.
Ben is picking a new team every single time here. What's going on?
I know. At first it was Texans, then it was Patriots. What's it going to be now? It might be the refs. Let's see.
I didn't pick the Patriots. Wait, what? I didn't pick the Patriots.
We're going delusional here.
You guys are confusing me. Also, I just went in one of my old group chats with my friends, and this picture came up, which I can't.
I don't want to see that. What's your pick?
Texans.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
Wait, consensus, Texans.
Consensus, yes. Moving on, we have the Saints and Buccaneers game. It's tough. I don't think the Saints come off of back-to-back losses. It's a division game, too. I'm going to go with the Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Ben mentioned it the last time that we recorded this pick, but the Buccaneers are not practicing in their facilities. I think this week they're practicing somewhere else.
Hurricane, unfortunately.
Because of the hurricane. So I think unfortunately it sucks that has to play a factor in a football game, but like.
Yeah. But good thing they're safe.
At least they're safe. That's the most important part. But when it comes to the picks, I think that messes you up just mentally. So I'll go the Saints.
Yep, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, very similar reasoning. I think it's a division game. They are at home. They're very evenly matched. They're coming off 2 straight losses, which I think they're gonna have to fight for this win, and I think they're going to get that win at home.
Awesome. I said this point 3 times, and this is not like the 4th time I'm saying it. Which you guys, this is the first time, so welcome. It is the Saints beat up on bad teams, losing against good teams. That's why they lost against the Eagles. That's why they lost against the Chiefs. I am choosing the Bucs.
Yeah. All right. You're on an island.
I am on an island.
Yeah,
and I think I'm going to predict what you guys pick next because I'm on an island once again. But go ahead.
I wonder how you're going to predict that.
Yeah, I know that.
Eagles, Browns. This is an easy one. Deshaun Watson is trash. The Eagles have been balling. They're getting all their guys back. You know, they're gonna get back in their rhythm, and I think they're gonna wind up doing good.
A must-needed break for them as well.
Yeah, they're gonna ball against the Browns. I think they're gonna win by at least three possessions.
Okay. It's gonna be a blowout. You think?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Give me the Eagles.
I asked this question last time, but it didn't record. If the Eagles were to win only by 1 score, is that still a win in your opinion? No? But for Ben, it is, you said, because a win is a win.
I mean, a win is a win. I do want to. I mean, the Eagles really should
the Browns and they win by 1.
We should dominate, but you know, I think there's a lot of adjustments that need to be made with this team. Hopefully, I just want to see some adjustments.
I have another question for Eagles fans. Does Sirianni get fired in the middle of the year?
No. Howie Roseman doesn't do that.
Okay, that's fair.
He just doesn't. Unless you're...
We know Ben's obviously picking the Eagles.
Do you want the Eagles next to your face again, Ben? Or Gabe, sorry.
I would rather not have them next to my face again.
But,
I really do not like that franchise or anything about it. However, the Browns absolutely are atrocious, and the Eagles won by probably 3 scores, like Chris said. Yeah. I mean, like, Jake, you asked a question about if they win by 1 score, is it still a win? yeah, Ben, you said it's still a win because a win is a win. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you now have that bye week, and I think you mentioned like they had that bye week that they should rejuvenate, just get their thoughts together. What's going on with this team? That was a 14-3 team in their minds.
I think if they win by one score, the momentum just isn't there.
Absolutely not. Against this Browns team, you gotta do what Dallas did to them.
Yeah,
you gotta win by a couple scores.
Do what the Giants did to them, honestly.
We played pretty well. I mean, it ended up being a one-score game. I think
but
because that last second touchdown.
That's because the first play, we fumbled the ball on the return, and then they got a touchdown.
Jake, what is your pick?
Obviously, I hate the Eagles, and I pick the Eagles a lot, and I don't think I picked the Eagles yet to win. But the thing is, every time I pick the Eagles to lose, I've had logic behind it, and I know they're 2-2. I'm 50-50 on wins and losses, but I'm picking the Browns again. I think the Eagles struggle against good defenses because Jalen Hurts turns the ball over in the past 11 games. 11 games straight, by the way. So I am picking the Browns, but I think the Eagles have a really good chance to win this, but I'm hate picking. I pick the Browns.
All right, cool. Next up, Ben's going to love this one. Colts-Titans.
I'll go last.
Okay, because obviously you love the Titans.
I'm picking the Colts. Joe Flacco is him. I love Joe Flacco.
Does he play? Is Anthony Richardson out again?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead, Gabe.
I mean, I'm curious to see what Ben says. This is an easy pick for me, this Colts. Ben, you still on that?
And like I said, every time I picked against the Colts, they've won.
Yeah, honestly, that's a great pick from you, Chris. I just have to be on a level playing field, but also I just think the Colts are the better team, and it doesn't matter who the Titans start. If they start Mason Rudolph, who looked better than Will Levis, he's a more safe pick, but you also want Will Levis to develop. Also, if Will Levis starts, I don't care who starts this game. The Colts are a better football team. The Colts, in my eyes, are a borderline wild card playoff team, so I'm going with the Colts.
Tighten up.
Tighten up.
This is a difficult.
That Will Levis jersey is going to look great.
This is a difficult day for me because, as you guys know, I've started to become a Titans homer.
Tighten up.
I've picked them every week this season, and it finally worked, and it changed around my complete standing in the predictions. I had my best back-to-back weeks. They were on a bye week last week, so I didn't have to deal with the stress. But you look at it, there's 2 elite quarterbacks that are on these teams.
Absolutely.
You got Joe Flacco, and you got Anthony Richardson. And there's a certain team that may or may not have both elite level quarterbacks.
Are you calling Anthony Richardson elite?
When he plays.
He's solid, but
he
can throw the ball the farthest in the league.
Off his back foot, 65.
Joe Flacco.
All I'm gonna say is there might be a slight bit of sarcasm in that statement, but I'm gonna have to make the most difficult decision of my entire life. I do have to pick the Indianapolis Colts to beat.
I know that hurts your soul.
Yeah.
Ben made a good pick, everybody.
Yeah.
Back it up. You know what? That's unbiased journalism right there. That's what that is.
Yeah, let's honestly.
That is letting your biases aside.
You win
for the greater good
by picking the Titans last time, so you win by picking.
But the Phillies are still winning the World Series.
Okay.
We're on football.
Moving on.
Yeah, we are on football. Moving on, we have the Chargers and the Broncos, and you guys might be shocked here.
Toss-up.
50-50.
It is a toss-up, but I'm going to go with the Broncos. Riley Moss has been balling.
Yes.
Patrick Surtain's been
Broncos
good.
country. That's right.
Alex Singleton. Bo Nix look good.
Alex Singleton. Isn't
Sean
Alex
Payton.
Singleton out for the season? Didn't Alex Singleton get
I don't
hurt?
think so,
No,
no.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure he
Troy
got hurt.
Franklin looked good.
He might have. Not that I heard.
I learned about Troy Franklin yesterday, and he's good.
Oh, he's torn ACL.
Oh yeah, he's out for the year. Wow.
Well,
Surgery on.
Eagles legend Alex Singleton.
Yeah, what a pull by Ben.
that aside, Alex Singleton or not, I'm still picking the Broncos.
Okay.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
Ooh, the last person to say that did not have a good time with the Broncos.
Yeah.
And the last person said that a lot.
Yeah.
You gotta do the whole reenact. He was like, Broncos country. Let's ride.
Only if
And then he did that 15 different times in the same
we're
media
gonna
day.
record that separately, and we're putting it on the Instagram. Also, he had more bathrooms in his house than touchdowns. His coach even told him that. Ben, what's your pick?
I'm going to pick.
I think Ben's gonna pick the Chargers.
I think I know who everybody's gonna.
Yeah,
pick because
spoiler.
I have them.
Yeah, Chargers.
Okay.
Really tough decision for me because I mean, this game could go really any way possible. I'm going to go with the Chargers, even though the Broncos do have home field advantage. But, being a mile out.
Jump on your horse and ride with me to the sunset.
If you were on an island, which I'm not saying you are just yet, this is a good island pick for you. It's a 50-50. And you're in first place. You need a couple island picks to separate yourself from the pack. But unfortunately for you, you are going to be on an island. Because I think it's a coaching battle. And right now, Jim Harbaugh has a better team than Sean Payton. I'm going with the Chargers coming off their bye.
All right.
Okay.
I'm on an island. Moving on. We have the Steelers and Raiders, which I think could also be a 50-50, guys.
For the listeners, this is our first time picking this one, so we'll have some fun with this.
We can actually lock in now.
We can lock in.
Guys, like I said, guys, this is a tough one. This is a 50-50 shot.
Really?
Yeah,
What?
I think so.
I don't think
the Raiders beat the Ravens.
I agree that it's a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Raiders.
Beat the Ravens.
I gotta go with the Raiders to lose. Ooh,
Yeah.
you thought?
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going with the Steelers.
You can't pick the Steelers. You don't even like the Steelers.
Wait.
I can pick
to
teams I don't like.
To give some input, Ben literally hates the Steelers and George Pickens. That's why he dropped George Pickens in our fantasy football league, and I never claimed someone so fast.
Are you saying Steelers country, let's weld? Is that what you're saying?
Steelers country, let's weld. Let's weld. Let's get Steelers.
Chris.
I'll take the Steelers too.
Oh, whoa, Chris. Is this a consensus? Because I'm also taking the Steelers. Or
When in doubt, pick a Georgia player, right?
Or when in doubt, pick against Ben 50% of the time.
You know what?
Brock
You're
Bowers.
right. You know what?
Brock Bowers.
You know what? Ben is right in when in doubt, pick a Georgia player.
Yeah.
But there's the Georgia player on both teams.
Whoa, so which Georgia player are you going to pick?
George Pickens.
Whoa, he played for Georgia. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I love that.
So consensus Steelers. I didn't think a 50-50 would be a consensus like that. I'm not going to lie.
I don't think this is a 50-50.
I think it's a 50-50 game now. I will not be shocked if next week we go in to record the podcast and it's a red square on all
that
four.
happens every week.
The Steelers were 3-0. I think there's a chance they end up 3-3, which is why I think it's a 50-50.
All right. Next up, this one should be a consensus. Falcons, Panthers, unless if Ben decides to pull Panthers again. I dare you.
I think that was probably the worst pick of the entire season.
Honestly,
I'm going with the
Falcons.
Falcons. I'm not debating this or anything. I'm going with the Falcons.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't need to spend time on this Falcons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a consensus.
Nice and easy.
Watch Andy Dalton
Right.
win, though.
Next
Honestly,
up,
I think this is a chance they could win.
You know-
they're a great upset team for the rest of the year.
this next game I think is going to wind up being a biased consensus. We have the Lions and the Cowboys, and I'm taking the Lions, especially after CD and
Yelling at
Dak
Dak.
were fighting.
Yeah.
It's not looking too good.
I really want to pick Dallas.
I don't
Only
think
because
I don't
they're
think they
at
beat the
home.
Lions.
Only because they're at
They're
home.
good at home.
They're very good at home.
They
but
are very good at home, but I
I'm
don't think they
picking
beat the Lions.
Detroit because
The Bible.
Dak Prescott sucks in important games and against good
I agree.
competition. So
Yeah.
This is so tough because I honestly think it would be a very Cowboys thing to do is to beat the Lions in a game that they should be losing. But I don't know. The Lions have looked really good so far.
And they're coming off a bye.
They're coming off of a bye.
They had an
Dak
extra
is
week
having
to
some
prepare.
issues with CD.
Yeah.
Everything is pointing in the direction of the Lions win. I wouldn't be shocked if the Cowboys take it, but I'll take the Lions.
And here's the thing. The Cowboys struggling this year. They came off of a win.
I'll put it
but-
this way: the only time I think any of us has really picked the Cowboys was me against the, or no, it was when I picked them the game after the Saints, I believe,
Yeah.
and
I
they
think I took them
won.
a few times.
That was
I think
against
I
the
took them once or
Giants.
twice.
Yeah.
Because I don't really hate the Cowboys as much as the Eagles do, so I'm okay with picking them.
I don't like them, but yeah, I don't.
It's a consensus, though. I'm going against the Lions, which
All right,
actually brings me to the next game, which is the Bengals versus the Giants.
and that's not a
Because-
consensus.
Because here's the thing.
That's not a consensus.
Well,
we already know Jake only
Gabe,
picks
here-
the Giants
and
when
here-
it's the
and
Giants.
Gabe, here's the problem. We're on prime time, which is not good for us. We
That is-
suck.
I'm
terrible
taking the
for us.
Bengals. This isn't a question.
yeah, I'm
Wow.
taking the
Bengals are not going 1-5. This is not a question.
But
here.
here's the thing. Going off my point from last
The Giants are a good team,
I
but
think
they're not beating the Bengals.
Cowboys lose and the Giants win, which would make them tied. And if the Eagles win, then wait, no, you would be in the lead. If you lose, you would also be tied. Is that how that works? Bye week? I don't know. No, it doesn't. You guys
The
would
winning
you'd be
percentage would be all
last.
messed up.
You guys would be last if you lose, and the Giants and the Cowboys win and then lose.
They're not going to lose to the Browns. That's out of the question.
What's your pick?
All right, Bengals. So
Bengals.
So easy. Like
I'm
guys,
picking the Bengals.
if you want to add another loss to your prediction record, I'm fine with that because I'm in last
Here's the
place.
thing.
But
Every
I'm
sing-
fine with it,
here's the
too.
thing. Every single time the Giants have won this year, I was on an island by myself. So I will.
No,
I'm okay.
I was with you last week.
Last week?
Yeah,
That's true.
Last week you guys lost.
Yeah.
So
you guys have picked against the Giants every time.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm really torn. I like to take these games with an unbiased perspective. I don't want to just give up a loss or give up a free win.
Can I say something, Gabe?
If I think the Bengals would win.
Look
so
down.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I am looking down at what I'm wearing.
This
right
dude's
now.
better flip a coin or
a
something.
Jason Pierre-Paul Giants jersey.
Are you about to flip a coin?
No, but what I'm gonna have
This
happen
is a crazy
Jake is
line,
gonna
by the way.
15 to 85 is crazy.
I think it should be more like 35 cents. Like,
Jake
I
is
think
gonna
so too.
what?
Jake's gonna go first, and he's gonna try to convince me without just Michael Strahanning it. And
Okay,
like
do you want me?
saying Giants
Okay, do you want me to
because-
give you the unbiased?
Yes.
Okay, the Giants will win this game because their defense. It's crazy. Let me talk. Okay, their defense
Better
is right
defense
now.
than
Is
you
there
right now.
crickets in the room?
We could add the sound effect afterwards if we wanted to. We're audio now. It's easier.
You know what's funny too is our defense is better than theirs. But
And here's the thing: the Giants have a top 5 pass rush in the league right now. They had 6
Absolutely.
sacks last week.
7.
They had 7 sacks last week and 9 sacks against the Browns, who had a good offensive line. The Bengals have a bottom 5 offensive line, which is why Joe Burrow's going to be under pressure.
He's making
all
a good point, guys.
year. Also, and this is my chance to sway you, basically. Deontay Banks started off rough last week. He absolutely locked. I think he was on Tyler Lockett all game. He locked Tyler Lockett up. I think it was Cordell Flott on DK Metcalf. Banks on Lockett. He locked him up. He's going to lock Jamar Chase up because we're going to double team him all game. Also, Daniel Jones looked like an average QB, which is all we need because Tyrone Tracy had over 100 yards, and Neighbors is back. Does that convince? And we have a top 5 offensive line this year. Does that convince you for them to
here's
beat
what
the
I'll
Bengals?
say. Off of what I've seen, and this is a very early point in the season, and especially with this new group of our D-line, but if that 2007 to 2012 period was like the Big Blue Wrecking Crew Part 2, this has to be Part 3, right?
And
they're just so talented.
Can I give you another stat? Tyrone Tracy is one of 4 Giants running backs in history to have his first career start go over 100 yards.
Is it bad I want him to start over Singletary?
I want him to start too. He is in company with Brandon Jacobs, who helped us win a Super Bowl, Ahmad Bradshaw, who helped us win a Super Bowl, and some rando in the 70s.
All right.
Okay.
You know what? What's your pick? I know
The
what your
Giants.
pick is. All right, 3 words. Let's go Giants.
Big Blue! Let's go,
Let's
Big
go.
Blue!
Wow.
I can't believe I
They're
convinced
both
you.
gonna
Yeah,
take a
honestly,
loss.
I was torn.
I can't believe I didn't convince one of you guys with all the stats I just threw out.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
Monday
We're gonna get to
this Monday night
those
game
so much.
has gotten very interesting now after our breaking news
This
earlier.
is an
Honestly,
easy
I think
pick.
it's consensus.
This is an
I think
easy
it's
pick
consensus.
now.
But-
I'm going with the Bills.
Yeah.
But here's the thing:
No
a lot
head
of,
coach now.
a lot of times,
you're done
by the
for.
way, more
Oh.
news. They hired their defensive coordinator as their interim
Not
head coach.
Nathaniel Hackett?
No, thank God.
That's crazy.
But there's a lot of times where when a team fires a coach, you guys all know in every sport they get a
Fire
boost.
side,
They get a boost.
Do
I'm
you-
still going with Buffalo,
Okay.
but I do think the
I'm
Jets
going
might
with
win.
Buffalo too.
Not only do they get a boost, but in this specific scenario, we saw a starting quarterback that might not have been on the best terms with their head coach, right? I mean, we don't know what really happened, but that one kind of interaction on the sideline, do you remember that? Where he was like, I don't know what he was saying. Maybe it was like the game's not over yet when he was
Yeah.
celebrating. But it did not seem like it was like a friendly way to say it. I think Aaron Rodgers plays better from here on out. That said, the Bills are a tough team.
Yeah.
I'm
Do you want me to
gonna
make my pick
go.
first?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay.
Give me a second. to
I'm not
think.
gonna lie. When doing this,
Just go to the other side of the subway, bro.
just make it easier for myself. I fill out all my picks before we do the pod. I had the Bills filled in for my pick, but Ben, you just made that awesome point where it's the team that usually has a new head coach, interim head coach, wins. And I think the Jets upset the Bills. I changed my pick. This is the first time ever that I changed my pick going into the pod. I'm going with the Jets on Monday Night Football. I think they embarrass, not even skeet by the skin of their teeth. I think they embarrass the Bills, showing off that division is an amazing division.
I'm really nervous because I really do think the Jets could win this game.
Yeah.
I just have to play it safe because I'm in last place.
I think this is a 50-50, but like it's still leaning towards the Bills, which isn't a 50-50, but also I think
Gabe,
the Jets have a good chance to
We
win.
need
Yeah.
to hear your
All right, you know what?
final pick of the week,
You know what,
guys.
Jake? I think it would be a very Aaron Rodgers thing to do is to be like, I'll take this into my own hands.
Yeah.
I am much smarter than anybody on this coaching staff
are
from
we-
the quarterback position.
And then get cooked.
Yeah, true. Honestly, are
And
we
either get
agreeing-
cooked or cooked.
Are we agreeing on New York this week?
I'm gonna go with the
No,
Jets.
I picked the Bills.
Yeah, me and Gabe are agreeing on New York.
I'm going with the
That's
Jets.
All right.
A New York sweep. New York sweep. Which last week they didn't do, and the week before that they didn't do. Actually,
Yeah.
they swept losses.
I think
That counts.
I think that pick's gonna come back and hurt you.
It might, but honestly,
could.
we need to make some moves. If
Could also hurt you two though.
It could.
Nah.
And you know what
I
happens when
believe
you
the
two
Bills.
split up? You guys always lose.
Yeah.
The Bills aren't gonna take back-to-back losses, especially after they had a rough loss against the Texans. No
Yeah.
way. No way. It's not
All right,
gonna happen
all right.
twice. You
That's fair.
both know better than this.
Okay,
Alright.
You down Josh Allen?
I am.
Wow.
Well, he was injured.
At least
Actually,
Buffalo.
Rodgers
At least
played,
Buffalo
but-
has a quarterback.
Rogers got injured too, though. Hamstring.
Right?
But
But
he's still
did,
bad.
did you see that hit that he took?
I know.
Or was it a hit that he
Right,
took? But
Jake?
Josh Allen was like on the floor for like minutes.
Yeah.
Jake, aren't I right about that though?
Might have been.
What?
I said at least Buffalo has a quarterback.
Who doesn't?
The Giants.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Next year we will. Don't worry about it.
Well, unless Jones keeps playing like this and he tricks Shane into a two-year
it's not
contract.
happening. It's not happening.
Honestly, I think it will, which I hate.
He's staying around.
I think we're gonna trade up for a QB. What do you think? We're not gonna get a top 5 pick again,
Jalen Morrow, you are a New York Giant.
or Shiloh.
Hey,
or
have
Shador.
fun
Shador.
with that.
I don't
We
want
got-
him, but he might be.
Hey, we should say
Shador's gonna be top 5.
we got. Dude,
We trade up.
maybe we can make some
Quinn
exclusive
Ewers.
content about some predictions for the draft.
All right,
So
that'll
Way
be
too early
it for our first ever live episode. You know, all 4 of us together.
Possible-
We don't have video, but Instagram clips coming soon, which we'll
Hey,
probably
and
make it
also,
beforehand.
if this is on Spotify or iTunes, welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
First time
Leave
listeners.
us. I
OGs.
know this is something you guys can do. Leave us a 5-star review because I heard that really helps podcasts.
And also
so actually
leave
do that.
comments on how we can improve, because we'll probably keep uploading hopefully
Yeah.
to Spotify and Apple Music.
and also just take our opinions all the time because we're always right.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Well, technically Chris is right 44 out of 34 times, and I'm right 43 out of 35
And
times. So.
that's well above 500 if
Yeah.
I do my
Yeah.
math correctly.
Exactly. Same thing with actually Ben.
It is true. That is true. Well, that'll be it for our show today, guys.
And
So,
unfortunately, the listeners won't know this. We're going to be stuck in this room for the next 2 hours making Instagram clips. So we're
that
gonna
is
go
quite
do
true.
the same.
But stay hungry, stay hyped, stay hungry. Keep the frenzy alive, and we'll see you on the next one.